Right. Hello.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you.
Right. Sorry, bit of a bad start. Loads of technical hitches. A lot of people have been trying to juggle tonight. Don't know if they're going to come on or not. I don't know. But don't usually do an open panel.
No.
But we are going to tonight because kind of a necessity, really. There's been a lot going on in the YouTube community where, and before anyone jumps on us, we have been sent and we are being sent the full screenshot conversations of these people. Seems that a lot of people who think they're their friends are actually blocking channels. We've seen this before. Myself and Gary have been mentioning this for many years about a lefty contingent or just a selfish lot of people who would like you to focus on them rather than what's going on. So shortly, I'm going to put a link in the comments and people can come on when they feel like it. Whether you want to come on camera or not, up to you. But you can come on and have your say. I will say this. The rules for tonight are there will be no doxing. There will be no harsh language or anything like that. There will be no porn bombing. You will not start personally attacking people in the live feed.
No.
You will be timed out and you will be thingy. Okay? This is not like the other YouTube channels. We're going to have a conversation tonight and we're going to start having multiple conversations. It's about time we did it. Let's face it, we all left the playground a long time ago. I'm sure you would agree, Gary.
Yeah. And the other thing we're going to have, if people are talking over somebody, the one who's talking over the person who's talking will be muted. You won't be kicked off, you'll be muted. Then when the other person who's speaking finishes, you'll be unmuted and you can respond. But then if the other person starts attacking that person, they will be muted. So what we're asking for is when someone is talking, you wait till they're finished. Then you can respond. You're not going to be not allowed to have your say. We don't work like that. You will get your say, but what we don't want is two conversations going over who can shout the loudest. So once the one who's got the floor is talking, wait for them to finish. Then as soon as they're finished, they can respond. It's that simple.
Exactly. We can all be mature, so we can have multiple conversations, but we can have one conversation at a time. Okay. So
exactly.
I'm going to stick the link in. So just want to say, just think. Hello, Steve. Hello, June. Hello, James of the Isaac family. Hello, Alice. Hello, darling. It'd be nice if you jumped on. But we're going to have a mature conversation, actual mature conversation. So shouting over people is not going to work tonight. You're going to get muted. Okay?
Yeah.
You're going to get muted until the other person gets to finish. And then when they finish, you will be able to retort. So it's question, retort, or statement, retort.
Yeah. Exactly. And then that way it runs smoothly as well because people can understand what's going on rather than somebody starting speaking and then somebody shouting over the top of them. So the man or woman who's speaking has got to talk even louder. That's not the way it should be. It's got to be done a lot more smoother than that. And it will be done like that tonight. So it's that simple.
Exactly. It's not who shouts the loudest. It's who has the facts. So all we're going to deal with tonight is facts. I don't want conjecture. I don't want rumour. I want facts.
Evening, Nick.
Evening, Nick.
Thanks for joining.
So, mate, you all right? You all right, Gary?
Yes. Sound, you all right, kid?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
So that's the main thing.
Personally, I think you're probably in the best situation, really, Rick. I mean, if you don't mind, I'll give a bit of a backstory, then we'll lift off with you if you don't mind.
Yeah, cool.
Right. Well, in the last 48 to 72 hours, what we've seen, and this has been documented. So, any of you who think you're going to lie, you've been screenshotted. Every interaction, everything you've done, each side you've played, you've now been caught. So it's not going to work. Okay, so the lies are gone. Okay, so let's be honest. Okay, now I'm pretty sure we can all admit, Gary, Rick, we don't agree with each other on everything, do we?
No, not at all.
No.
But we can have a conversation about it, and we can respect each other's points of view on it.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is what tonight's about. Okay, I'm not going to put out. And by the way, I am being sent every single screenshot of what you lot have said. And this is multiple platforms happening. This is happening, and it seems to be a small group. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're not going to get into it. We're not going to defame people. Okay, we may mention people. I may even have a little rant myself later. But what we're going to do is we're going to have an open and honest conversation.
That's where you're privileged to me, Nathan, because obviously I'm coming in blind. I've been asked to come on and moderate and make sure that, it's done properly. But I'm not privy to any screenshots or anything. I haven't got any. So, it's going to have to be you that does all that because I ain't got them.
But as I said, I'm not going to be releasing the screenshots as of yet. I'm literally, there is hundreds. Literally, this is like about 24 hours of conversations where people thought people were friends. Multiple people have been blocked from multiple channels. So YouTube is not secure. You've got a small group of people and they are attacking everyone.
Well, I can honestly say the only time I ever use YouTube is for our lives, for CMW lives. I don't go around going on different people's panels because, that's their business. I don't attack anybody. I just leave people to their own lives, basically. Live and let live. That's how I work. You will never find me going in anybody's chat, starting a beef, because I don't do that. I might go in and say, hello, how is it going and stuff. And that's very rare. I mean, I think I've been on, and that's only been the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think I've been on.
And there we have the StreamYard kicking us out again. By the way, I have a wide connection. Everything is the best it can. So anything that happens is not down to me.
Yeah. Well, that usually happens anyway when me, the live. It kicks me out, then it kicks you out. And, for some reason, that's how it works with us. I don't know why. Well, it seems to be. What you say, and you've got all the most. I've seen you. It's the best equipment you can get. Really, you can't get no better than what you've got. So I don't understand why it's doing it. To be fair,
well, it puzzles me. I've got a studio. I've got a professional studio, but I've got everything else. Evening, Elsid. Evening, Kaylee. Evening, Anis. Evening, everyone else. Thank you for joining. I will be putting the link in the chat in a bit if anyone wants to join in. I just want a kind of a basis of what we sort of talked about tonight, because this is a very unusual one for me and Gary. Because like Gary just said, we just usually deal with our stuff and we just put out the facts and we try and alert you to what we're saying. Well, not what we're saying, can I say? It's about what others say. But the things that have been happening in the last 72 hours, it's nefarious. It's nefarious. I mean, Rick, I'd like you to chime in at some point. I mean, because you've been the brunt of most of this.
That's what I was going to say, Nate. Sorry, Rick, carry on.
No, it's all right, mate.
No, I was just going to say that this is all new to me, so I'm interested as well because I don't know anything that's gone on. So yeah, carry on, mate.
It's a bit of a mad one from where I'm standing because it's one of them. We've seen all the infiltration, the way it works anyway, and it's just kind of like this generation of what's going on or whatever. And from where I'm standing, it looks like CMW are constantly like being dragged into things that have nothing to do with CMW. Nathan was being blocked and everything yesterday. Nothing to do with no reason, no nothing. They had issues to do with myself, but not Nathan. But yet they blocked Nathan, which is weird. It's hard to explain really when someone's not seen it because I mean this is just like a couple of days or whatever, but this has been going on for weeks and months really. Definitely the attacks on CMW are very obvious.
Well, the attacks on CMW started a long time ago. It happened. I'm not going to name a name, but there is one woman who keeps defaming myself and CMW without. I mean, this woman said that she found a donor. And the video is there. We can play this. There is a video where she said she found a donate button on our page. We've never asked anyone for any money. She then said, and I quote, "If that's what she said, then she didn't mean to say that. That's not right. She never apologised, despite certain people saying that's not an apology." She actually then went on to 8 times say that she's not going to apologise. So before this woman wants to sit there and keep lying, it's been recorded. She's also since then called me, a scammer or something like that, or something. It's something along them lines. Grifter, that's it. And CMW, we don't actually. The whole point of CMW, which is Constitutional Movement Worldwide, is we actually teach you your unalienable rights. So we teach you the rights your education system and the law system don't want you to know. This person has gone on 2 seconds ago. This person has actually gone on to then state in the last 24 hours, as far as I know, 48 hours as far as I know, she's found a website apparently where Rick and Kaylee is on a website that we created saying this is my team. That's not true. The only website that was ever created was by Danny Jones. If he's changed photos or anything like that, that's that man lying. We had nothing to do with that website. We've never created a website. So if you see a website, CMW, then you're dealing with someone that's lying because we've never created a website.
If you're seeing a website like that, ladies and gentlemen, go and report it. Get it taken down because it's not ours. It's that simple.
Exactly. It's never created by us. We've never strived to create a website at all. We've had people accusing us of giving people wrong legal advice. We don't give legal advice. We've had multiple attacks. Problem is, though, these people take the lives down as soon as they've done them. So what you're getting is hit and run tactics. These nefarious people will state things on a live because they have nothing better to do that they can't prove or back up. So when they're called on these lies, we all get blocked. That's why we're all getting blocked, because the very people you're listening to are lying. And we are not allowed to go on the feed, whether it be go on live with them and call them out. We are not allowed in the comments because that's bullying, apparently. So they're allowed to defame us. But if we ask them to prove evidence of their crimes, I mean, we've never taken any money. Babs, many people that are in the chat now, you know we've never taken any money. We've never asked anyone or you or anyone for anything. Everything we've done for free. But you've all sat there with it.
I find that, unbelievable that they'd even accuse us of that, because my Facebook, the many lives on my Facebook, do walk and talks. When we do our lives on YouTube, you will never hear us say, and here's our Patreon, here's our PayPal, here's our this, here's our that. Buy me a cup of coffee with none of that. We don't do that because we're not in it for the money. We're in it to help people and educate them for free. That's what we do. All we want, our reward will be if we can wake enough people up to get our country back. That's enough reward in itself for us. That's why we do it. No other reason. We're not in it for, any type of, money or financial reward.
Thing is, though, as I keep saying, if you are dealing with people, right, these are your unalienable rights, right? These can not be bought, transferred, sold, or denied, okay? So if you're dealing with any group or anybody that is charging you to have this information, they are committing a crime.
Yeah.
They already own these things.
Yeah, they're already yours, ladies and gentlemen. You should have been taught them, and that's what we do. You should have been taught them. You've not been, so we're trying to help you. We're trying to teach them to people. But then, like I say, we've been accused of this, that, and the other. Been accused of doing things that not us, because like I said, bring one video to me where I've ever done live, where I've ever asked for money. You won't, because it's never happened.
Well, this
it never will happen.
Well, this is the problem, because this is happening. I mean, it's happening on Facebook. It's happening on everything. It's like a lot of people. I mean, I don't. We're not going to start calling people out. I'll tell you that much, people, because we're just not like that. Okay. Many people out there, and I truly believe, even though they're trying a legal route, even though myself, Gary, and Den have been doing this since before Brexit, we can tell you the legal route doesn't work. We've already tried these avenues. We don't attack these people. We'll quite happily tell you that won't work and the reasons why, but these people won't listen. They're going to carry on. They're going to keep your attention. They're going to keep you waiting for something that will never happen. Truth of the matter is, people, change only comes with you. And it's going to take every single one of you. So it takes every single one of you to actually do what you're doing. When you're, promoting a legal aspect, remember, you're promoting the system you're fighting against. If you're promoting a lawful aspect, you're fighting against the system. Most people don't understand this. But to get back, I digress, to get back to the situation. There is multiple people on YouTube, okay? There'll be some people on Facebook, things like that you don't know, you're not aware of, but there is multiple platforms where we're all fighting and we all are starting to unite. Unfortunately, it's going to take each and every single one of us to make sure that that unity is not destroyed by the few. And at the moment, it's like it's not going to be the main topic, but a fair bit of the topic tonight is there is a small group of people that want you to concentrate on them. Okay, these people will never actually talk about the things you want to talk about, and if they do talk about them, they're talking about the problem. We want to start talking about solutions. There is solutions, by the way, people. Like I said, Vic, you can attest to this. Myself and Gary in 2018 did something, and since then we have had the only lawful case that can bring any MPs to court and prosecute them criminally. There is no other criminal investigation on the cards.
Yep, bingo. No one else has done it, have they?
No one else is managed. It's like, it kind of worries me because it's like the vets are rising, and as most people know, myself and Gary, we back the vets wholeheartedly, 100%. Despite their foibles, we do, because they deserve it. Me and Gary said many times, they've made many a sacrifice, more than you or I ever could, people. More than you or I ever could. So if you're going to give anyone some leeway, give them leeway. But when you're talking about legal opinion over lawful opinion, it's already gone. It's already destroyed. There is nothing going to happen, because the legal opinion is the system. It is the system we're fighting against.
exactly. The thing is as well, I don't get what all this, like, you know, where you just mentioned, was it Danny who and you got blocked because of Rick? I don't get all that. If you and Rick was having a beef now and you weren't speaking to each other, I would have Rick on my panel, I'd have you on my panel, and I'd have you both on if you wanted to come on together, because it's your beef, not mine. And if people did that and let the two people who are sorting it out fight it out between them instead of taking sides, then it would be over a lot quicker, and we may get back to what we're trying to do, and that is solutions. When you're infighting all the time, it's no good. We learned that a long time ago. And that's why basically we left YouTube and went and did what we did, because it was toxic on here. Yep. That's why I left. It was toxic.
Hang on, we was on YouTube before most of these people actually come on YouTube. Most of these YouTubers have been on here, what, 7 or so years? We left YouTube because it was very toxic. But we have to deal with every single aspect, every single avenue. And unfortunately, we need the backing of the people. We need the populace. Like I said, you can keep allowing like people like me, Gary, Rick and that lot to do it on their own, but it's not going to do no good. What happens when you come against, like, for instance, people going about left and right? The left are a lot more organised than the right. So what happens when you come up against a disorganised group against an organised group? You're going to lose.
Yeah, so.
The left and the right is just something that's been, and people have fell for the narrative. The left and the right is just something that's been dreamed up by the government to say, if you're this way, you're left. If you're that way, you're right. And everybody's fell for the narrative. If you look on the main, even the left and the right, they agree on about 85% of the things that's going on. So you're not that far away from each other. It's just that people have fell for this stupid division tactics by people who have said, well, now, if you think that way, you're left and you mustn't have nothing to do with the right. And it's the same the other way around. Well, when you get to talking to somebody who's left or who's right, you'll find that whatever side of the fence you sit on, you actually agree on about 85% of the things that's going on. So I don't get it.
Well, this is the problem. See, how long have we been saying, Gary? Let's start looking at what we agree on, right? Rather than looking at differences, right? Because I'm not being funny. We can sit here till the cows come home, and like Gary, we don't see eye to eye on certain things. We can concentrate on that, and then CMW would have never gone anywhere.
No,
never gone anywhere, because it's been, oh, it's this, what is that? Right. What about what we agree on? Do we agree that our children should be safe? Do we agree on that
exactly.
we should be safe? Do we agree on that there should be law and order in our streets? Do we agree on the fact that our rights should not be trampled, especially by an unelected set of bureaucrats that have decided that their money buys our civil servants?
Yeah. And that's what I said, Nathan. Majority of the things, 85%, the fundamental things, keeping your children safe, etc., everybody agrees on it. So I don't actually class left, right. I just say, but you know, I just disagree on a few things with that person, with that man or that woman. But other than that, I agree on most of the things. But we've let these people put us, label us, left, right, far right, far left. There's no such thing. They're just narratives being pushed on you through the TV and that brainwashing, and you've all fell for it, basically. That's how I see it anyway. I don't see anybody far left, far right. It's just that some are more, some are more extreme than others, but they're not left wing or right wing. It's just their opinions are more extreme than others. But whatever side you stand on.
It's emotional blackmail.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee
you. There's going to be extremists in every community, isn't there?
Exactly. Yeah. I can guarantee you, I'll put this challenge out there. Any extremist, whether you be left or right, come on here, have a discussion, and I'll guarantee you, I can prove to you that there is middle ground, and the fact that
Yeah.
you are emotionally invested, and that is why you feel like you are.
All it basically is you fell for the psyop, because that's what it is. It's another psyop, like everything else. Left and right wing is a psyop. You know, well, we've seen. You can see it basically in life. You'll see people who you think, I used to be a left wing, now I'm more middle or right wing. I've changed. No, you haven't. You haven't changed at all. You've just moderated your views a bit, but you wasn't left wing in the first place.
Yeah,
That was the problem.
You hit it on the head. Basically, all that's happened is people have a political view because that's what they're indoctrinated into. But when it boils down to it, you're going to have morals and values. And unfortunately, the way you're raised, the life you've led, they are going to be staunch. So it doesn't matter if you have an ideal or not. Eventually, you're going to have to deal with the reality, which is the base fact of how you would like your life to live. People moan at us. It's like we've had it, Gary. You know this. We've had it many times. We're still waiting for the black belt barrister to have the balls to actually debate us. The first people that he's ever even come where near close to debating, and he's run away like a chicken. Let's have a debate, black belt barrister. Let's have a debate. And me and Gary have put this debate out to anybody. Let's have a debate about our constitution, our laws, our rights and our freedoms, and the fact that the UN, the WF, the European Union, all them, in fact, even our politicians and our crown cannot go against them. Let's have a debate about it. Let's put evidence and fact to your ideal, because this is the problem with understanding your law and your rights. Ideally, the government would like you to forget them, and they'd like you to say, well, that's just how life is. But the law doesn't actually allow for that. The law is quite sacrament. The law is the law. You cannot kill. You cannot steal. You cannot do something that's contrary to someone else's rights. That's not going to change. It doesn't matter how many immigrants. It doesn't matter how much legislation. And by the way, I want to point out one thing. The Constitution actually binds Parliament in their legislation. If you can prove their legislation is contrary to our common law, our Constitution, basically our way of life and how things have been for the last 1,000 years, that have actually kept peace to the point where we haven't needed police to have guns on our streets for the last 1,000 years. If you can prove that, then that statute or act is void. Because acts and statutes, as it says in the Bible, which is Howells' Laws of England, which is the encyclopedia of laws, and the court have to actually uphold, acts and statutes can only be given the force of law. Listen to the wording. Can only be given the force of law, so they can only act like it's a law if you consent to them being a law.
That's why it's called an act.
Exactly.
But
the link is in I'll put it in again. The link is in like I said, any porn bombing, we will know your IP. You will actually have a prosecution against it. We don't piss about, but understand we monitor everything. But if you want to come in and join in, please have your say. You may be blocked on other things, but we like kind of fair speech. So as long as you act lawfully and you act in good faith, we'll give you everything you need to have your say. So the link's yet again in there. So pop in if you want to have a say. Let's talk, people. This is what we need to do. Okay, instead of sitting here listening to me and Gary and everyone chime on and chime on and chime on. I want to hear a few things. I mean, we've got Lucio 1. I I want to hear from this woman. Working class woman. From what I know, has had no thing. So, Lucy, if you're ready, I'm adding you to the stream. So you've got to unmute yourself, Lucy. I'd like to hear your opinion on the way things are going in society, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, you're nice.
Hello, Lucy.
I just think the world's gone mad. I really do. I think everything about it's just going all downhill.
Oh, it is. It is. I mean, what do you think you've seen in the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 years that's changed your mind to the way you live your life and the way you see things going?
I think we've lost her.
You're not muted, Lucy.
I don't know what's happened.
I can't. I'll bring her in, I'll bring her out. All right, 2 seconds. There you go.
Probably lost the signal.
Like I said, the link is in there to this StreamYard, so people can have their say. No, I think we lost her.
Probably got signal problems.
Yeah, we lost Rick as well. Come back.
Yeah, seems like they're messing us about again. You know, it always happens. It's just...
It's funny. No, I'll say this. It's funny because I see multiple other streams and they never have the problems we have. Ever. Ever. And people say it's my equipment. It's like you said, though, Gary. So I've got a studio mic. I have got a headset and everything. I have
Yeah, I mean, people...
upgrading.
Yeah, if people come and saw your setup, they'd say, well, you know, this should never, ever go down, really, with what the equipment you've got. Unless you're in, you know, you're out in the remote bloody Amazon or somewhere where you ain't got a signal. But where you are, you know, the signal's always perfect. You shouldn't have any problems, really. I don't think.
Well, this is the thing. It's like everything I've built is because we are starting our own internet radio station. It's on a private server, so we don't have the government, everyone breathing down our necks. Literally, Resistance Radio UK will be up and running very soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's what's needed, I think, to be honest. A lot of people are losing channels and stuff like that. It's one of them. It's annoying when you've got to start again from scratch. There's quite a few people are losing channels, getting strikes left, right, and centre. That's the thing. We're fighting. I'd say the left mainly, which are the ones that are attacking. It's one of them. As quick as you build a platform, you've not got any following or anything. By the time they see you getting any sort of following, they just pull it from under you and you have to start again from scratch. So for me, the radio side of things, for anybody that is having that problem, you know, you can come and rebuild your new channel in that community. So
What is the thing?
It's not the end of the world.
Well, you're exactly right. What we're trying to build is like you don't have to like us. We're still going to give you a platform because we want every single aspect to be spoken about. We're not going to censor you because we may not agree with you. That's the whole point. Resistance Radio is literally a pure free speech, and it's for everything. It's not just about these sort of talk shows. There's going to be music. There's going to be music talk shows. There's a multitude of things that's going to happen on this new radio show. Gone are the days where you get blocked and you get censored. Is the whole point. But you're going to have to be a bit stronger than what we are now. I mean, let's face it. Look what we've seen last 24 hours to 48 hours. We've seen a small group of people destroy multiple channels and silence multiple people because they have a spanner.
Yeah. Well, if you dig a bit deeper, I mean, what is it that they're doing? They're telling mass lies, setting up hate campaigns, and they've been caught out doing it for the last year or so that we know of. So
Oh yeah,
these
but this.
people are going to continue down that road, aren't they? They're not going to stop doing what they're doing.
I know, but this time they've all been caught with screenshots. So
Yeah.
what they've been doing last year, they've been so brazen and think they can get away with it. Because what happens is people, they do a live, they defame people, and then the live is taken down. So the people on that live, you will believe of them people the truth because they don't know they've said it. So there is no way of answering to it, and they make sure you can't call them on these things. They will not come on a live like tonight, and I'm giving everybody, even the people that we're talking about, come on.
This is it. People are just thinking, right, I can say what I want, then make it private, and then just deny it barefaced lies to your face and say, no, I didn't say that. But what they're missing out on is a hell of a lot of clip channels, which, as fast as we're talking now, they'll be recording it. And any lies that have been said or whatever, or anything they think they've got wrong or whatever, it will be put out. And all these people around it have got so many people against them. There's, the amount of targets on their back now as compared to maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. Them targets, there's more people aiming at these people now and can see exactly what they're about. There's a lot of people a while ago that thought I was beyond the pale or whatever, whereas now they're realising, look, everything he's pulled out up to now has been correct. We thought it was a bit far-fetched to begin with, but to be fair, everything's seems to be factually correct, all the way up to hope not hate entangled into everything. Now, to me, that's a concern.
See, this is a problem. It's like a lot of people don't realise. It's like, Rick, you've been going as long as me and Gary. I mean, this is before Brexit. Gary has said on multiple times the amount of people you brought to us and gone, watch what they do. I've never seen you be. I've never actually seen you catch anyone wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it may not be to the extent you say, but they're definitely involved.
To be fair, I mean, I can't claim credit to. I'm not plugged into the internet 24/7 or anything. It's people around, good people that give relevant information and whatever. And once you figure what's what out and you get your facts and your evidence in order, then you speak. The people around this situation are not doing that. They're doing the exact opposite. The exact opposite of that. They're speaking before checking anything out, and then it's one of them. You've just caused a massive drama. You told lots of lies and deceived people. And if people can't backtrack from that and go, oh, okay, I got it wrong, there's an issue. To me, that says there's an agenda and a narrative. So,
well, that's one thing we always do. As you've now, Rick, I've gone on lives and I've gone, ladies and gentlemen, I've got an apology to make. Well, I put something out yesterday and I got it wrong. And straight away, you hold your hands up. It's the best way to be than try and say, oh, I got that wrong, but I'm going to try and just go under the radar, because people notice. So it's best to say, yeah, I got that wrong. I've just been informed that didn't happen. I got it wrong. And everything's good then, because people say, well, at least they're honest enough when they get it wrong to hold their hands up. That's the main problem you got.
Yeah, that's it. I've noticed a lot of people cannot do that, or they refuse to, either way. So, obviously, I don't want to start throwing names around, but for people that are watching, you should be aware of the people that are doing these things, really.
Not to cut in, but Barney, you're going to have to show your camera behind stage before I let you on, mate. So if you can quickly flash to say that you are a person, you're not going to pull and bum us that lot, that'd be good. Otherwise, I can't let you on, mate. I can assure you, the public will not see. It is only for us.
Could you explain what a gagging order how you would obtain a gagging order, or how you would receive a gagging order?
I can, yes.
Yeah.
Well, a gagging order is there can be multiple reasons for a gagging order. It can be due for defamation, impact of life, a lot of things. It can be due, a lot of them actually have a lot of relevance actually to domestic violence, things like that, to where a victim, basically, a gagging order is obtained where a victim may be put under further duress or unduress or further action or attack. So to gain a gagging order, the official route is actually to submit your claim to a court. A court will decide, and it will be court ruled. If you haven't got a court order, there is no gagging order. Most people do actually confuse a lot of things. If you're involved in a criminal case, then yes, it's classed as a gagging order because you're not allowed to talk about the offence that you're involved with, whether it be the witness or whether it be the plaintiff, because it may harm the trial or the defence or it mainly harm the defence. So no, technically speaking, a gagging order is basically a court-ordered order to say that nobody involved in the case is allowed to speak about the case outside of the court.
So you would never get one of them just as a over the phone thing with the police, would you?
No, that would be impossible.
Yeah.
Yes, a gagging order is a court-ordered affair.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And even if let's say that you could somehow manage to get one over the phone or whatever, you would be restricted from speaking about it yourself then, wouldn't you? You're not immune to it because you're the person that spoke to the police or whatever, is it?
Well, the only way you'd get a gagging order if you spoke to the police over the phone is if you became a witness to the fact. So if you become a witness, if you have evidence and you submit that to the police, yes, there'll be a gagging order on you, not an official gagging order like a court, but you will not be allowed, as a witness, you would not be allowed to influence outside of your testimony anybody on what you've said.
So you couldn't go online 18 hours a day and talk about it, then, no?
No.
Cool.
No,
Just
no,
checking.
no.
Just checking.
That would be a breach of process, and you'd actually nullify your evidence. Not only that, your testimony.
Yeah, I thought so. It's just a few people seem to have mixed up fact and fiction.
Barney, I'm willing to bring you in, mate, but I need to know who you are. 2 seconds. Let me do so. Barney, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Nathan, look in the private chat.
All right, 2 seconds. All right, bear with me, Barney. It's Eric. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm happy with that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hello, Eric.
Right. Good evening, Gary and Nathan. Rick.
Evening. Thank you for coming on.
No fear. I'm not going to porn bomb yet.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you.
Just like to say, I've followed you and watched you for donkey's years ever since you sort of started, right back from the White Dragons or Pen Dragons, whatever they called years ago. And I'd never seen no pay links for nothing, and I've never heard you scrounging for money either. So I will just put that out and say that.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Barney. That's nice. Well, Eric.
Yeah, Barney. I just put Barney down. I didn't know you'd let me in on the first page of Eric, so that's why I put Barney.
This is a partial channel, Eric, so you can come in as you are. We're partial.
Thank you for being honest.
Well, that's right. Well, that's what I was doing. But the only thing I would say is the only problem you've had, you're probably not going to like what I'm going to say, but you get tired with the brush of the people around you, don't you? That's the problem you've had.
In ways, yes.
Now I know Rick's going to hate what I'm going to say, but you did. You've probably not seen it, but I've watched it all. You had Kaylee promoting you, right? And I mean promoting you and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it about CMW. And people have always thought that she was connected with CMW.
No, Kylie's not connected to CMW in any way other than follows us. Well, you know, and Rick's the same. Even though we're friends, Rick will openly tell you he's not a member of CMW as such. He does his own thing, but he does support us and he follows us.
Problem was, Gary, it's like that.
Groups to just support many things. CMW is one
Well,
of
no,
them.
the problem is like that with Gary. Going back, I don't know, was it 18 months ago or something? You put out a statement that you never speak to her. You might pass the odd message with her, and then a video came out where you're in a Zoom call with her for over an hour, talking to her.
Oh no, we spoke to many people, Eric. We spoke to many people.
That wouldn't be me, Eric, because I don't go on Zooms.
Yeah, it was no Zoom, Gary. It was you.
Yeah. What happened with that, Eric, is basically we've tried multiple times to speak to. It doesn't matter if you're left or right. We've tried speaking to multiple people.
Yeah, but just clear this up, right? Don't fudge around it. What I'm saying is, Gary said at the time that he never speaks to Kaylee. All he ever does, he might just pass the odd message in passing. Straight after he said that.
What's the importance of this, Eric? Like we've just said.
No, Rick Levy. Eric, if it's a Zoom call, the only Zoom calls I'm ever gone into will be for our own Zoom calls. If Kylie's coming on the Zoom call, she's coming our Zoom call. No, I don't go. I haven't been on YouTube for over 2 years, other than in the Zoom calls I get involved with, Rude Awakening, etc. If she's coming one of them, yes, I've probably spoken to them. I'm on about privately, and you can.
Listen. I don't want you talking away. You probably have not been made aware of this. They probably haven't told you what's gone on. But that Zoom call was either hacked or somebody got hold of that as a recorder, that Zoom call. With that, and I don't expect you even know that, do you?
We was aware people did hack the Zoom calls. There was Skype.
We're doing away because Eric insinuated that he'd hacked it. So there's that.
Now this is going to be with Danny Jones when it was around Danny Jones.
Yeah, but, Eric, Danny Jones's friend.
Please let the man finish. We said we was going to let people. Please let the man finish.
Carry on, Eric.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I did get it wrong. It wasn't a Zoom. It was a Skype. It was Kaylee's Skype call. You joined it. Nathan was in there. Rick was in there. It was at the time you was discussing about going live with Danny on one of his shows, and he was talking about how you was going to go about it and all that. But you should have been made aware of that call had been hacked, or the recording got out somehow. It never got hacked.
Yeah.
But
we found that out from Danny and AJ quite close to the time. You can go into other people's Skype calls. We found out, but the difference is, Eric, we've got nothing to hide. We was discussing how to deal with the situation at the time. You've got to remember, it's Eric and Danny. We'd already known previously that they planned to actually infiltrate and destroy the narrative and try and defame us.
Right, I don't really want to get into that. That's talking about other people, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's up to them. Whatever they was doing, if they was doing something, if they wasn't, that's up to them.
By all means, aiming towards us.
Yeah, I was just bringing up that point where Gary. This is just one point that Gary had said before that he never speaks to her, and then it comes out he's in this Skype meeting for an hour talking to her.
Yeah, because it was 2 seconds, Gary. Let me say, because the truth is, Eric, is basically we don't speak to Katie that often. Not as often as AJ and Danny and that lot mentioned. And we speak to quite a lot of people.
Nothing to do with them. This is me, right? What I'm trying to point out was Gary had made this point out that he made this video sticking up for for Rick and Kaylee. And on that video, when he made that video, he said he'll always have Rick's back, and he never talks to Kaylee, only in passing on the odd message, and that's it. And then
that was a Zoom call. But if you look at how many times I've spoken to Kaylee since that Zoom call 18 months ago, it's probably twice.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried.
Yeah, but get it right now. I said I rarely speak to Kaylee, and that is the truth. I haven't spoke to Kaylee probably 2-3 times in the last since that Zoom call, and somebody can come and subpoena my phone and go through it, and that you'll see. I'm telling the truth. I don't need to lie.
Do you not think though an hour's Skype call is not the odd passing message?
Yeah, but I would if I was in with just Kylie, but don't forget I joined because I got sent the link and Rick and Nathan and everybody was in there. So I went in there because it wasn't just Kylie by herself, was it?
No, but what I'm saying is...
all this is Eric trying to tar us with the brush of umbrella. Rick, he does it every occasion.
Rick,
you do, Eric. Let's not pretend. You work for Hope Not Hate and you try and defame people by any means necessary. You've done it for 2 years constantly.
The truth is all we need.
Yes. And if you want that, no problem. I'll put the video out again tomorrow with them with that in there. And it's when Rick and Kaylee had some problems. And Gary made a video basically saying, look, what he said was, we've always had Rick's back and we're always going to have Rick's back. And in that same conversation was, I've never speak to Kaylee. All I've ever done with Kaylee, in a chat somewhere, we might have passed the odd message. And then this video comes up, or this hour-long Skype call of Gary and Kaylee.
So what you're saying is because you're taking something that Gary said out of context, because technically speaking, in percentage-wise, Gary doesn't actually speak to Kaylee, especially since then, because we was dealing with a matter that was of importance at that time, and that was mainly our vets being defrauded. So you're going to use one Skype call to do what?
All right, well, we'll get away from that because no. You brought it up. So let's deal with what you're saying. You've just labelled me and Gary. You said on one Skype call that makes us guilty of something. Nathan,
I would like you to please confirm what we're guilty of.
What are you deflecting to the vets for? We're not talking. The vets have got nothing to do with it.
No, I'm not deflecting. I want to stick to the phone call you're speaking about. So what? Because we spoke to Kaylee as we're speaking to you now. So in a year's time, are we going to be guilty because we give you the time of day?
Yes. If I was to turn around next week and say, I've only ever sent Nathan or Gary a message, I've never spoken to him, then yes, I would be guilty.
Yeah, but the problem is though, Danny Age and that lot and other people were saying that we was in regular contact. So what Gary said was completely in context.
No, it doesn't matter.
We do
was it not due to you, Eric, that we ended up speaking to Umbrella and having that discussion? Was it not because of you directly?
No, it wasn't, Rick. It's
was it not? Are you sure, Eric? Because I've got the same video. I've got it here, and I've got the run up to it, and everything's documented for the last however many years, Eric. You've run around doxing people. You've got a really bad obsession with Umbrella.
Right. Up to you may think that. You may think that. But when was the last time I done a video on Kaylee?
It doesn't matter. Eric, please, mate. I'd like you to please clarify, because you've come on, you've said because myself and Gary and Rick was on one Skype call that we are liars because we've not conversed with that woman on a regular basis afterwards.
No, Nathan,
I would like you to confirm what makes us guilty or what you're implying, please.
What I'm saying is you get tired with the same brush. It's what I was explaining to you before. Kaylee was pushing CMW. You must go and look at CMW. I'm going to be on radio CMW. I'm going to be doing this show on CMW, okay? And what I'm saying is then CMW get tarred with the same brush. Kaylee, you cannot get away from the fact Kaylee has just done that scam. You can say as much as you like, it's a scam.
What Kaylee does is nothing to do with CMW.
No, but you don't see what I'm saying, do you?
Which scam we're talking about, Eric? Because I don't know anything about this. Which scam?
No, Gary, that's what I'm saying.
Scam, Eric, we'll call it out.
Gary, you're kept in the dark, mate. I'm going to tell you that. You are kept in the dark.
Eric, if you've got evidence of a scam,
the 2,300 Just Giving scam she has just done. And this is what's caused.
What has that got to do with CMW? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever, Eric.
You get tired. What I'm saying is, you just get tired with the same brush.
Yeah, exactly what I said you would do. You would try and tar CMW with Umbrella, Kaylee, or you would try and have CMW defame Kayla. Either way, you win, don't you? That's how he likes to win it.
You do
Let's
realize,
speak about the fact you
can
work
I
for
say
Hope
something?
Not Hate, you dox
If somebody
people,
promote,
you
if
endanger
somebody's
families.
if
Right,
somebody's
we're not going to have an argument. Eric, could I just say one thing, right? We've answered your question, right? So you're not going to defame CMW because we've already dealt with that. So you're trying to use one Skype call. The fact that we have an interaction, we're not involved in what Kaylee does. We are not involved with that scam. She said herself, and she said on multiple times she is not part of CMW. So
Nathan,
how can we be told with the same brush? So because I am willing to give you the time of day, if you scam somebody, does that mean I'm involved in your scamming?
No, but if listen,
Have you got evidence of us being involved in Kaylee scams?
There's no evidence of you being involved in it because you're not involved with it.
Thank you.
In no way whatsoever are
Thank
you involved with any scam. I told you from the off point. I've never seen you ask for a penny from anyone. What I'm saying is if you're surrounded by them
evidence is
people,
someone scamming, we'll walk away from them. And you should know this by
well,
now.
why have you not seen what she's done then, Nathan?
When have you
Do you
seen?
not realise she was trying to raise the money originally? She was putting out videos where she wanted £100,000 from me and Danny Jones to walk away.
Well, to be honest,
It's
Eric,
extortion.
yeah, but to be honest, Eric, me Gary, and CMW have been so caught up with court cases. We haven't actually had time to look into any of this. We actually don't know much. So if you want to enlighten us, then please do bring the evidence, and please give it.
Nathan, I'm telling you now, you're being left in the dark as well as what Gary is.
That may be the case, Eric, but until somebody brings
that is why that Moon has been attacking you, because Moon was one of them that was right behind Kaylee trying to raise this money, and she was putting out for people to donate to Kaylee. That's why she's so pissed off. She even put money into it.
Thank you, Eric. See, this is some information we did not know.
No, you won't, because you'll be kept in the blind about it, Nathan.
All this is friends of my enemy stuff. And that's all it is, friends of their enemy.
Well, I'm not going to be an enemy of anybody, but I like fact, I like evidence, and I like things to be put forward so we know where we move next.
Yeah.
And Eric is helping us with that. So I thank you for this, Eric. I mean, you have got evidence of this, yes?
It's all the GoFundMe, it's all been recorded.
Okay.
Everything's been recorded. And this is why you're getting attacked by these people like Moon and that over Kaylee. Because they think, like I'm just saying to you, you're getting tarred with the same brush.
What do you think about the grift that Danny Jones is involved in, the Homestead stuff, where they're charging nearly £8 per...
We're not talking about Danny Jones, are we? I'm talking to Rick and Nathan.
Yeah.
Gary and Nathan, yeah?
I know,
but
but
talk about that.
Talking about scams that you know about, Eric, then I think if you have knowledge of this, then let's have all the scams.
I'm sure...
Because you've come on here. No, give me 2 seconds, okay? You've come on here to alert us the fact that we may be in the dark about something. So Vic's quite apt in what he's saying. If you have evidence of other things, you should be saying this now so we don't get involved.
I've just told you. It was a scam.
Yeah, so he's talking about Danny Jones and other stuff. Things that, I mean, obviously,
but no,
you have knowledge.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know what Danny Jones does.
Of course you do. Of course you do. We've discussed it already. Why you've been there, Eric.
Where evidence you've got of me being Hope Not Hate?
Where?
Yeah.
I've got you tied to Jason Tyler by him giving you stolen data, giving you as third party.
Links in the chat.
So that will result in a knock at your door, wherever your door is, Eric, unless you're not in the UK.
Good. Because
like I've told you.
Then the truth will come out. I've got no connection with Jason Tyler.
You have. It's documented, Eric. So
show me the proof.
I'll rerun it, and you can jump on comments and you can explain it. Then, yeah.
Oh yeah, show the proof.
Bear with me, Dennis. I'll pick you in a minute.
Another thing I'd like to say as well, Nathan, while I'm here.
Yeah.
You said on Dave's the other night that anybody that comes forward and makes claims out, instead of doing it just willy-nilly and the problem keep going, they should bring the proof forward with them.
That's why I asked you for proof.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but so I didn't know he was going to get onto that subject. Otherwise, I would have given you the proof. Right.
I'm literally, Eric, if you've got proof of things, so CMW can stay clean, we can stay away from people and keep clean, we welcome people like you.
That's what I was going to say to you, Nathan. I'm sure probably Danny Jones has got your email address.
No, Danny Jones is running for me because there was a debate that man will not have with me. But he's not blocked on any of my profiles. That man can contact me whenever he wants.
All right. Well, even if he can't, I'll try it. I'll try to. If I can't get no contact details from him, I'll try to contact you. You'll get all the recorded. You'll get the whole screen recordings of everything that's gone on, the whole lot. You won't get nothing will be missed, and you can make up your own mind at that point.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, we CMW deal with a lot of like situations in courts and that lot, so we do sift a lot of like evidence. So we're quite used to sifting through evidence that matters, that's relevant, and stuff like that. So anything you can pass us. We are actually thankful for. Like I said, everybody has an input to CMW. Myself and Gary are just custodians of our movement. We ain't actually the leaders. It's people like ourselves. It's people like everybody else. Anybody who wants their rights upheld, you all help keep us clean, and you will help us drive forward. So any help you want to give.
And I think that's why a lot of people have been surprised with why. Listen, I don't want to talk about Kaylee, right? Because Kaylee hasn't spoken about me in probably a couple of months.
So you talked about since you jumped on there, Eric.
So that's the reason why I have not made no videos, because I've always said
it's the only person you've talked about since you joined this conversation, Eric.
What are you on about, Rick?
You've not spoke about anything that is not to do with Umbrella. Not one thing. Other than admitting that CMW don't charge.
Right, I need to. Right, Eric, do you agree though that we are not involved in these scams and CMW are clean of
listen, are you clean as a whistle? You've got no connection to that whatsoever. Nothing. Nothing at all.
Right. So I do not want everyone over speaking everyone, because we are going to all take turns. I will mute you and I'll unmute you. It's going to be statement retort. Okay. Eric is allowed to have his say. Same as everybody else. I'm going to bring a couple more people on. If you start screaming, shouting, and talking over other people, you're going to be removed. I'm going to say that.
Nathan, can I just say one thing?
Of course you can.
If you're going to bring Kaylee on, I will leave, because I never want to talk to her. I just don't want to talk to her.
Well, we have, to be fair...
Listen, not since she hounded AJ's ex-girlfriend when she died.
Well, to be fair then, mate, if you want to, I'm going to have to bring her on to have her say. So if you want to drop out and come back in later on, that's
not a problem.
That is your thing. We'll have you back, but just jump in later on, and then we'll bring you back on. But I can't let you have your say without her having her.
Fine. That's fine. Can I just say one thing just last before I go? I was going to say, and I got interrupted.
Yeah,
was you standing by evidence coming forward. Like I said, I couldn't bring that because I didn't know that was going to come up. But Rick has just a night before last was on a live. He accused Wendy Wu of saying that she'd seen a video watching a 15-year-old have sex with Danny Tomo.
Yeah, I've already put the evidence out yesterday.
Actually, Eric, to be fair, I've heard the soundbite of Wendy saying she's seen a video.
Yeah.
Right. No. Never.
Eric, you watch all my videos. You're my biggest fan.
The context of that comment may be kind of misconstrued, but there is basis for what is being said on it.
And the next one, very quickly.
Come in my video if you want, Eric. You've got my permission. You won't get a strike from me, fella.
Let's not talk over each other.
16-minute one. The 1 hour 16-minute one. Is that the one?
Pardon?
What, the 1 hour 16-minute? Is it?
I think so.
Right, that's good there. That's because at least we know where we stand. The next one is Rick made absolute crazy accusations about Plisco. Of Rick being on a nonsense.
So have many. Have you attacked everyone else?
No.
What was the accusation? What was the accusation?
Rick has been making accusations that
Let him finish, and then you can
put Rick on the nonce wall. He sat on a panel the other night cussing out Plisco like you would not believe. Rick
and I've seen this wall, and Rick is no longer on that wall.
He's never been on it.
Yes, he was.
He was.
Never been on. Well, show the proof. Show the proof.
There's screenshots of his face on it.
Show the proof. Yeah. Show the proof.
Okay, I'll send you.
I'll find it, and I'll put it on a video.
Show it.
It's not an issue.
Good. Right. So I'm going to hold you to that one, Nathan. All right.
Do you know what? Thank you for coming on and speaking maturely. This doesn't have to
Yeah.
descend into a massive argument or shouting over it. We can actually
Yeah.
discuss
On that same video, Eric, a person called Debla had actually said, "Oh, you're actually on the bus as well."
Babs.
I've not
Okay.
seen anyone on the bus, but
No, but who's on
apparently
the
I'm on a
bus?
wall and I'm on a bus. But
You're on. No, you're on
I spoke to
skits.
Briscoe. He said,
No,
"Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't." And now
no, he
I'm not.
didn't.
So
Prove
I'm
it.
not really
Prove it,
too
Rick.
bothered.
Prove it. Prove it, Rick.
Well, there you go.
Prove
See,
what?
this is the whole point, Eric. See, this is about putting proof up. See, you've made a
Exactly.
claim and proof needs to be. You need to also prove your claim as well. So you
I'm
need to
going to.
prove that he was never on that wall.
Yeah, but I need to. Rick. Yeah, but no. Hang on. How
So
can
you
I
do
prove?
know
No,
both of you need to submit
no,
your
Nathan, you
claim
can't do that.
and
How
your
can I?
evidence.
How can I prove a negative? How can I prove a negative?
Well, you can prove a photo that Rick's never been
Right.
on. Can't you?
No, because this I'm telling you, he was never on that picture.
So
Rick
you can produce
no,
a photo he was never on, and a
right, and I
time
can.
frame, and a time date, and a time stamp that Rick was never on there.
Yes, but on the
How
other
many
hand,
people do you think have sent me
Rick,
that, Eric?
listen, Rick just
Realistically,
got to show Rick. But the problem is, Rick doesn't understand. Rick's all pally with Skits. Skits has got him on his pedo boat, but Rick doesn't ever speak about that.
pardon.
Rick.
But that's neither here
I
nor
have,
there.
I have questions,
Don't-
Skits, about that, and I'm not
Right,
all pally. Just subscribe to me like you, Eric.
right. I'm
Like
going to
you.
do. I'm going to do.
Let's not defer.
Listen,
2 seconds, okay?
I'm
Let's
going
not
to do you
defer,
a deal.
okay? Please.
I'm going to do a deal. I'm going to take my listen. If Rick produces that picture of him on Plisco's pedo wall, right, I will delete my YouTube channel, and you will never see that channel ever again.
Right, well, that's a big statement. So, like I said,
See,
but then
we've had Danny Jones do that twice, and he's never took his
Surely
channel
the
down,
view is
even
here
though
for
he's been
Rick just to produce
debunked
that picture.
twice.
Rick,
by the way, Eric, this doesn't get taken down. This will be here forever. So,
Last
like I said,
time we
right,
made the deal with you, Eric, I was sat up at 6 o'clock in the morning doing a call with Umbrella to clarify all the stuff that you wanted, if you remember.
Rick,
And then within 12 hours after, you was making that videos again. So you're not a man of
Rick,
your word.
Rick.
so how
You're a
about this?
faithless
So how about
prick that
this?
You know the
the whole
reason, Rick. Do
hate.
you know the
Listen,
reason why, Rick? Do you know the reason why I never seen that video? Do you know why? Because she pulled the wool over your eyes as well. Because somebody actually pointed that video out to me about 4 weeks later, and I said, I know why I haven't seen that video, because I'm not subscribed to her. I only
right,
do her bookmarks, right? She put the video on unlisted, so she.
right, 2 seconds. So I have to meet you, Eric. All right. I don't want to carry on, Scott. I've got other guests come on, right? So this is pretty simple, okay? We can boil this down to its basic points, okay? Please don't take offense to me muting you, Eric. But you and Rick have got one choice, okay? Eric, you need to bring your evidence. Rick, you bring your evidence. In a week's time, do you know what? I tell you what, we'll do the same show, and both of you can bring your same evidence. Whether you do it on your own videos or anything, but we'll both give you both the platform again, and you can both bring your evidence. I don't want conjecture. I want evidence. So when you're ready to bring your evidence, we'll do that. We're not going to defame people, okay? So unless you can produce that photo and that evidence at the time, our guests tonight will not make assumptions or they will not make accusations.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I'll have a
And
video.
when you come back, Eric, we'll go over the threats to my family and stuff that you've made. Yeah,
Who's
that
talking
as
over
well.
who?
Well, it's all documented. So.
Rick, please let them talk.
I'll have the video out with that picture on within the hour.
Okay, right. Like I said, but you understand what I'm saying, okay? You can't come on here because this is a completely. We don't have sides, so you can't come on here making a statement or make an accusation unless you can produce it as you're saying it.
Can I? Do you know how? Can you screen share? Obviously on here somehow, can you?
I presume so. I'm not that computer literate, to be honest, mate.
Because if I could well, that's the only way you can show proof, and it's by screen sharing something there and then.
We can arrange somehow of getting the evidence, and then, like I said, a week later we'll put the evidence to evidence.
No, I'm talking about showing the proof now, so I can wrap this up now.
Can you screen?
I've got the picture in front of me, and I can show you it now. Rick is not on that boat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
because he's put me
Sorry,
off
not the
it.
boat.
Eric,
Not on
it's
the
not
boat one.
rocket science. I'm
He's
going to
not
have a
on that
picture
wall.
contrary to yours, but I'm on my phone, aren't I? So,
He's not on that. He is not on Plisco's wall, and he has never been on Plisco's wall.
okay,
You
so how
look-
about this? How about this, then, Eric? Okay, how about we give you and Mick will be an independent, completely impartial court in the way of it. How about in a week's time we give you 7 days? How about you and Rick bring your screenshots, bring everything else, and
No, I
we'll
want
work
to show
in
it.
some way. That
Nath, I want to show this now and get it over and done with.
I
And
know,
then
but
it's
you
as
could
easy-
you could show because Rick's saying that he was on it, but now he's not. So you could show the recent one, and we
Oh,
won't know. I mean, we
but
we,
that's good then, isn't it?
we
No,
need timestamps and stuff like that.
he shows the one he's on, and I show the one I've got, and it's just then he makes me look a bigger liar, then, doesn't he? This makes me look fucking stupid, doesn't
Right,
it?
can you
If he's on that
can you
wall,
share your screen then? Can you? Because I don't know how to do it.
you've got to permit it. That's the thing.
Right, how do I permit it? Rick,
Don't
are you
know.
okay to do this? Because I'm not being funny. It takes 2 of you, not just 1 of you. Rick, are
the
you
thing
okay?
is, I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone now, but obviously I can't
So am I.
get into where
I
all
think
my
Nathan's
shit
got to
is.
allow.
So Eric, for fairness and fair play, would you give 24 hours to make sure you've both got it all in order, and then
Why
we
do
can.
we need 24 hours, Nathan? Mick can make a video in 10 minutes, and so can I. We can both put videos up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about like an impart, because you can both document.
Video's no good, Eric. Video's
Yeah,
no
just
good because
video it
we're
on your
going to
phone,
go
Rick.
over all the other stuff, all the threats that
Just
you've made on
just
not
video
just
it on your
my
phone.
life, my family's life, other people's.
No. We're talking about the picture. Stop deflecting. We're talking about his pictures. Trying to get this over and done with. Get this
Oh,
problem.
right. You don't want to talk about the
Stop.
bio shit that you've done, Eric. No.
Right,
No, let's
right.
get this over and
Skip
sort
over
it.
I
that
have
bit there.
other people. By the way, I have people I've got to bring in. Okay, it's like right.
So how are
It's
we going to resolve
quite
this?
simple. If we set this for 24 hours, are you two ready? Will you two be ready with your evidence?
Will you be able to screen share?
If yep, I'm going to basically ask someone how to do it. If you can screen share, I mean, I can allow it from here. I don't mind allowing it.
All you're going to show us now is a picture that he's just took the picture off.
Yes,
It's
and
not
then you
hard,
can,
is it?
yeah, then you can make me look a right cunt by
So if
showing
we
the one you have.
All
right,
you're going to show us now
I've
is a
got
picture that has just been changed 2
But
days
it's
ago
been,
when I spoke to Plisco.
that's
You're
good then,
aware
isn't
that
it?
I spoke to Plisco because you've just discussed it.
That's
So,
good.
again,
That's
again.
good because if you've got the picture of Plisco's wall with your face on it, you are going to make me an absolute look a right cunt, and I'll have to go off of YouTube. That's why I said I'll cancel my.
but you won't
Right, so,
go, Eric.
right,
We're
so here
aware
we
of that
go.
because
So
we've
here we
already
go.
done deals with you, and you're not a man of your word, are you, Eric?
Just do
All
a
this is
video.
just the facade to try
Right,
and.
so there you go. There is no order for any further confrontation between you two. Both
That's
put
right.
up the evidence, whether it be on your own channels, because I'm not funny. We'll all go and look. Doesn't have to be on here. We don't
This
have
is
to.
how easy you have to. This is how easy it is to make Eric look daft. Eric, for all the attacks and the doxings and the trying to pay
But let's
people
not do
£500 for my registration or the address, what's your
Yeah.
reason for attacking me, please?
Stop deflecting off this subject. We're
What's
never
your
getting this
reason
sorted
for
out. You keep
attacking
deflecting.
me for all this
Right.
time? You can't actually name
Can I-
the reason, can you? I can name why
Can I
I don't
ask a
like you.
question?
You've attacked people,
Of
you've
course you
attacked
can,
my
Gary.
family, you've attacked loads.
Right, what is
Is that me or him?
anybody that knows me knows I ain't even been on. What is this all about? This picture? What is it about actually?
It's about a picture that Rick's been on, apparently, and there's an argument and everything. This is not a subject that we're going to resume tonight. I'm sorry for muting people, but you've got to listen, okay? I've got other guests. There's literally, I am being lined up here. There's other guests, okay? So, Eric, Rick, best thing to do, as I'd say, is put your evidence to the public and let them see, okay? We're not going to keep back and forth tonight because, like I said, I'm not that computer literate. There's no, and we can share screens, but there's no way I'm actually going to be able to share screen to prove this tonight. Okay, so we're not going to go back and forwards. Okay, right, Eric, all right, Babs, I'm going to bring you on. There's about 5 people waiting.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I don't know me to hold up. Nice,
No,
thank
no,
you very much. Thank you very
Eric,
much for letting me on.
Eric, thank you for coming on and thank you for speaking and thank you for bringing things to our attention. I can't thank you enough, mate.
I'll put that video up in about 15 minutes with that picture I've got, and then if Rick puts his up in 15, half an hour.
To be honest, yours is pointless, Eric. I'll just do mine.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
fine.
you can both do them. Right. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank you
coming
very
on.
much.
Thank
Cheers,
you,
Gary.
Eric.
Right,
Thank you.
I've got Babs. I've got to let Kaylee on first. No, Kaylee's gone. Right. Hello, Babs.
Hiya, how are you?
How are you? This is the first
Yeah.
time you've been on with us, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Hi, Gary.
Right, remember,
Hey,
Babs.
Babs.
Remember, keep it tight. This is not a slanging match.
Yeah, I know. I wanted Eric still to be on, because I just wanted to back him up, really, with all the things that he's saying about Katie.
Okay, your statement stands alone, so like all of ours, so it doesn't matter whether he's here or not. So have your say.
Yeah. So Kaylee, got about 3 months ago, got a brand new laptop, from, a GoFundMe. And now she's asking for another brand new laptop because she says that the other one is broken or something or other. Um,
Don't mean to
I
be
just
rude, Babs,
feel
but
that
Kaylee, are you going to come back in?
she's a bit of a grifter.
Is anybody going
Yeah,
to join tonight that don't want to
fair,
have a go at Kayla?
to be fair, Babs, and you know, there's never anything to but you sat there while Moon and everyone calls me a grifter and Gary a grifter, what we've done a grifter, and you know damn well it's not true, but you never spoke up. So I've actually, I mean, it's like, no disrespect, but I want you to ask that question. It's like, what have we done to deserve what's happening to us?
No, I really don't like. I don't have a problem with you guys.
Never have, Babs.
What?
We've never had a problem. This is, but you'll sit on a live with Moon completely. Apparently, it's like there's websites about us. We've got GoFundMe's and we've taken other people's money. Babs, you've followed us so long. You know that's not true.
Yeah, because I've never heard either of you ask for money.
I mean, Babs, I've stood with you on protests.
There's going to be. Sorry?
That's why
I've stood with
Babs.
your protests.
You stood with me on a protest?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah,
So
too,
we've
actually.
met. Which
Yeah, we
one?
have,
Oh
too.
God, no! I better not ask which one.
Oh,
There's so many.
this is going back quite a while. I don't think people realise how far we all go back. But this is going back.
Yeah.
We're talking about like the independence rallies and things like that.
Ah, right. Okay. All right.
And
Yeah. God,
and
there's been so
little
many.
Alex and stuff like that. There's quite a few situations with this sort of thing.
Ah, right. Okay. All right. No worries. Yeah. Look, you know, if Moon, look, I'm not responsible for anybody else.
No,
I
you know.
can't, you know. Yeah. Maybe
You can voice
I don't
when you
know.
know that somebody's wrong, Bab, surely.
Um.
If you know that somebody's wrong and the people that are being talked about are good people and have not grifted, why wouldn't you be able to speak up?
That's true.
Well, do you know what? Den. Yeah. It's sort of. I don't know. Like.
Well, I'm not.
Is it because you might be attacked? Because other people have been attacked?
Do you know, thank you for actually approaching this in a mature manner, Den, and not going on the chat. Thank you for having a discussion with Babs rather than just like a slanging match. Thank you. And you, Babs. Thank you.
Well, I can assure you, Babs, that me and Nathan are well known, as you know.
I think
many people come into contact with us, and they all know we're not grifters. So if that ever happens again on the panel, I'd like to think you would say that's wrong. I know 100% for the fact that's wrong. They've never asked for a penny, because there isn't any videos out there with any of us ever asking for 1 penny off anybody.
I think
and that's what hurts.
I think Babs' connection's dropped because she's gone. I was hoping to speak to Babs. Actually, it's the first time I've actually been live. Right, I'm sorry. I know people won't like it. And Kaylee, I'm going to tell you now. Scream, shout, do all this, do things that, and I'm just gonna boot you. Okay, be mature. Address your point. only a point. We don't want any side things. We don't want anything else. Go on, bring you on now. Hello, Kaylee.
Okay.
Hi, sorry, was that aimed at me as though I was going to come on?
Yes, it was. I'm telling you now. It's I don't want what's happened on other feeds. You can address the points you want to make. There's nothing I'm saying now that I haven't said to you in person or anything like that. But it's like oh, another one gone. Okay,
Well,
right.
you know, I was going to learn to understand we don't have Shetland boarding. We discuss things.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
I don't see any. Do you know? Oh, Dennis is banging away for a long time, so I want to bring Dennis on. I'm sorry, Dennis. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Nate. Hello, Gary. Hello, Rick.
Evening, Dennis.
Listen, yeah, I've been listening to this. Yeah, only for about the last 40 minutes. Yeah, and I must say something. Yeah, I've known about your radio station for ages. Yeah, and not once have you or Gary asked me to raise money for it.
Yeah, because
yeah, and you've never, in all the years that I've been following you and Nathan, yeah, like Nathan and Gary, I've never heard them ask anybody for a penny. Yeah, I've even visited Gary's house. Yeah, and
I've seen you many times. Just saying that up.
Yeah, and we've met many times, Nath. Yeah, and you've shown us nothing but hospitality and friendship. You've never asked us. I've never known you to grift for anything.
No, thank you, Dennis, because we don't.
Yeah, I know that, mate. I know that, and that's why I deal with you guys. Yeah, and we know that you're true. We know that you're above balls. You're honest. Yeah, I've never. You've even defended a friend of mine in court, Nathan.
Yes, we actually can talk about that now. Actually, because it's over.
You know what I mean. And you never charged a penny, mate.
No, and that went on for nearly a year. That actually, a lot of that come out of my own pocket. That's what a lot of people don't realise. A lot of that.
Yeah, I know that, mate. Yeah, and you spent a lot of time and a lot of effort on that case. Yeah,
it was uphold our constitutional right to protest. It was like I said.
That's right. That's right. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I just can't. I can't believe these other people what they're saying about you and Gary are grifters.
Well,
yeah, I thought tonight was meant to be about unity and. Yeah, bringing everyone together, and these people are obviously creating a divide.
Well said. Well said. Rather, like you said, rather than concentrating on what divides us, let's start agreeing on what.
Yeah, whatever differences we got. Yeah, let's fight the main battle. Yeah, and then we can all sort our differences out afterwards.
Right. But actually, while you're on it, Dennis, as you said, you've been a witness to things that CMW have done in court and stuff like that. You've seen multiple cases that CMW have helped people within court. You've seen the way we are in court. You've seen the way we are with barristers, judges, and all that lot. What's your impression?
Nathan, when I see you front that judge, mate, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was so fucking impressed. It was unbelievable.
Well, give the viewers just like a little taste of what you've seen.
Well, I've seen the judge threaten you because you obviously rattled them. And when the judge threatened you, you pointed at the judge and you said, "Are you threatening me?" And the judge was all fluttered and he said yes, but he didn't realise there was 12 witnesses in there that was all under Article 61. Yeah, that were your witnesses.
And did that case not go on to that judge actually recusing himself from that case? Did he not? Or
no, they kept changing the judges. Every time we went there was a different judge.
Yeah, every judge kept putting themselves out the case.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
yeah,
said,
and even when it comes to the final day, yeah, the main judge, he wanted to go in our favour, but he had to believe the other person. It boiled down to a judge's personal opinion.
Arbitrary opinion, but did that judge?
Judge
not basically give me and the team that was helping that person, did he not praise us?
Oh yeah, he acknowledged your knowledge of the law, yes, on several occasions. Yeah, saying how good your knowledge was for somebody who weren't trained at the bar.
Yes.
Yeah, and he even commended you.
See, a lot of people
Yeah.
don't hear what it is.
Yeah, well, I was in the court and I witnessed it, mate. Yeah, and so was Tanya, who's sitting here with me.
Hello.
Hello, Tanya.
All right, Tan.
How you going?
All
You
right,
right?
Bill.
Well, this is the
Sound.
thing. This is what CMW about. It's like we don't charge you to help you uphold your rights because they are your rights.
You've never charged anyone.
You've never charged anyone, yeah.
All the time I've known
You know,
guys.
I asked Nathan to help another friend out, and I even offered to buy his train ticket, and he said no.
Yeah, because it's not someone. It's not for me to charge someone else to uphold their rights.
No,
If I
you're good people.
Yeah, I know, but you're good people, Nathan, yeah? And like when I've heard people try and slander you and Gary tonight and libel you or whatever, defame you, yeah, that's just total bollocks. Like, I'm not a big name, as you know. Yeah, but all these people that are coming on, they seem to have some sort of ego. Yeah? They sat there and defamed you and Gary, yeah, for CMW. I've known about this radio station for months now. You and Gary told me about it, and you've never asked us to raise money for it. You've just asked us to keep it quiet.
Yeah, and support it when it comes about, because that's it.
Yeah.
Because
Which is what we're going to do. We agreed to share the links and that on our channels and our Facebook groups and everything else.
Because
Yeah,
this is the thing. This is about people helping people. It's not about money.
exactly,
I
mate. I thought tonight's show was going to be about unity. You know what I mean? Yeah, like me and Tanya have been connecting tonight. We've been to a local council meeting. We didn't get back here till 20 to 9.
Well, tell us about this
Yeah. The council meeting, well, basically, we've been to a few of them now. It's been in the city of Colchester.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the people down there are really making a stand, mate.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But now they've realised that they've got to start uniting nationally because they've realised this is a national problem, and this is what we've been explaining to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and tonight's meeting was very productive. Even one of the speakers on our side even threatened the councillors, saying that they're all going to be held accountable when this is over.
Yep, because they can
And
all
there
be
will
held
be.
in their personal capacity. So I said, myself, CMW actually have the only case that we can widen to make sure every MP and every civil servant is actually tried for treason. I don't understand why people are ignoring it. I mean, a judicial review, they changed the rules of judicial review. So a judicial review, all you're going to do is basically give the Parliament a slap on the wrist and say, I know you didn't intend to cause harm, but you did. So as long as we change it, no harm done. Whereas our case is a case of you commit crimes against the people, it is against the law, and you have to pay the penalty.
Yeah.
And the penalty,
Yeah, you know, this is
the legal charges is actually malfeasance, which means life in prison.
yeah. Well, you know, all of these people tonight, they really stood their ground, yeah, and you know, it was quite good to be there, yeah. Like we've been to a couple of these meetings in Colchester. And each time our side have put across a case, and that's why the meetings have been going on for months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been against the 15-minute cities. Tonight they was talking about environment issues and all the slave labour that's used to mine the lithium for all of these lithium batteries in cars and all of the fake climate hoax, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, myself and Gary, I'm sure Gary back me up, we've been bugged to do things like this. I think we need to do more of these open so people like yourself can come on and like discuss what's happening around the country, because a lot of people just don't know what's going on. They don't know what's being said. They don't know the opinions of our ruling class. And I think this is about time we really start paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Colchester group, they're actually talking about bringing a class action, and they're going to launch a GoFundMe to take the council to court. Yeah, for a judicial review, and they might need help on that, mate, if you and Gary could assist in any way.
Well, judicial review is legal. It's kind of futile, but I'll give my opinion.
What I think would have been better for them then, if you can get in touch with them, like Nathan just said, I think it would be better if they gathered up all the evidence and put it with the rest and build a bigger case against what we've already got.
Exactly. We have an established case of treason, sedition, malfeasance, and all that. If every group And every person out there, whether you be an individual or group, if you've got evidence that we can put forward to a court, it builds our case. So it ain't about the case that CMW have. Yes, we are the only ones with a case like it. Not barristers, no solicitor, because they work against the legal force. They're part of the Law Society, part of the Bar Society.
Yeah, I know, they're part of it.
Yeah, they're never going to bring you justice, but this is what we're trying to do. But if every single person, or sorry, man, woman, every single group now, if we all pull together the evidence we have, we can widen our case to make sure that they all pay. And with us all backing it, it will go to court. It will go to court.
Yeah.
Well, if we can arrange for them to get in touch with you and Gary.
Yeah. No problem.
Gary, you're actually in the same group as me, as one of the members of that group.
Yeah. Well, give him your number then.
Well, it's actually a lady.
Well, give him your number and we'll have a chat. Because a judicial review, as you know, can cost anything from 25,000 upwards, while to like £100,000 for a judicial review. And all it does is the review. It doesn't mean anything's going to happen. So it's, to me, that's a waste of money when you can put it in with ours for free, and then that's even more people, not just more evidence, but more people back in the case. And the more people we can get to back the case and the more evidence, the better the chances are. And this is what we've got to do, I think, myself.
Yeah, but we have the only criminal charge has been backed by the Metropolitan Police towards CPS. We have the only case.
Yeah. Like you say, Nate, it's an ongoing case. You've got the case number, so it's a no-brainer for me.
That you'll hear a lot of people go, "Oh, it never went anywhere." There's no statute of limitations for treason. If you all want to join in, let's all join in. Let's all get together. It's not going to be a CMW thing. It's going to be a united thing.
Yeah.
Man,
Right. So if I get in touch with the group, because we've got a couple of their numbers. Yeah, and I'll pass your number on, Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know Nathan's very busy and he's harder to get hold of than you.
Yeah, but I do a lot of work in courts and certain things. I
know, Nathan. I know that's why you're very busy. You know what I mean? So if I pass them on to Gary, and then then you guys can help take it from there, I suppose.
Well, we can add it to our case. Like I said, every bit of valuable evidence. Like I said, like Eric's quite a good. He was on earlier. He's quite a good researcher. Get some evidence against you MPs and stuff like that. Let's bring a case against them all. Like I said,
this is against the local council in Colchester. I don't know who the MP is, but
we can't do this alone.
I'm sure the local group down there know.
No, we can't do this alone. There's no one man or group that will do this alone, but together we can do this. We've already got
together. We've got to unite.
If you
lot
come together with us and unite with us, we can actually bring a criminal case. We've got a criminal case. We just need to push this and make sure CPS take this seriously. That's all it lacks.
Well, there is quite a few of the Colchester group listening in tonight, because they've all subscribed to you.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, hello everyone. Thank you.
Yes, hello everybody.
And we have told them about you guys. You know what I mean? And we have told them that there is a case building. And hopefully, you and Gary can get them on board.
Well, everyone should get on. But like I said, it's just, not just me and Gary. It's going to take a look. We are no better, no different to anyone else. We're just normal people, just trying to do the right thing. So when we come together, we'll see results.
Yeah, but Nathan, I've seen you in court. You know what I mean? Yeah, and you know what I mean. I've seen how the judges are frightened of you, mate.
It's like humans just said in the chat now. The more people, the more public interest. And that's what it was thrown out for, because it said it was lack of public interest. But if we can get everybody to put their evidence together and come together, then it is in the public interest, because they'll see there's so many people behind it, they cannot ignore it anymore. It's that simple.
Exactly. Yeah. Can't say it any different than that, can it? It's just like when we pull together. Like I said, ecos have got to come out of this. So yes, we may have stick to the point where we actually get the police to back us with these cases, but it's going to take you lot to make this and drive this home. So you lot are the key. Every single
Yeah.
one of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, I'm very proud of everybody who's gone to Colchester tonight. You know, if I could do a round of applause and that and whatever, I would. But it's fantastic, and that's what we need in every town, in every village. We need people building up, you know, getting the people together, doing the research, getting to know the law and how to protect themselves, and going and putting these people on notice like they have in Colchester tonight. That's what you need, and it's got to be done countrywide, not just this village and another village 80 miles away. It's got to be every town, every village. It's got to start gathering momentum.
Can I just say
this is what we said to him. We said to him about the Long March to Freedom 2.
Yep, which is happening in August.
Yeah, and we know it's happening. Yeah, and our group's going to be represented there. And we've also asked a couple of members of the Colchester group if they can spare the time to come, and a couple of them said they might be able to do it depending on what the dates are.
Brilliant. It'll be middle of August. We're going to release the exact dates and the time of that lot in the next couple of weeks. Don't worry, so everyone's got time to do it. I kind of want to touch on one subject really. It's like I said, it's not about us. It's not about anyone else. Understand this, people. It's every single bit of information you have. Every group out there, whether it be 5G, whether it be the vaccination, whether everything else, you've all got evidence to convict these people. Egos. We have a case, and we did this back in 2018. And we'll do a live, and we'll play you the full video of what we did. Basically, in a nutshell, we went into a Fabian Society meeting, which is the think tank for Labour. We interrupted it where Sadiq Khan was the head speaker. Keir Starmer, Kate Green, another lot of MPs were there. We actually interrupted that, and the police, and we handed them, and that's Magna Carta 1215 and the rest of our constitution. We handed the evidence of breach of that, and the Metropolitan Police backed our case with evidence of crimes proven. There was a crime number in our pack. Okay, we're starting to build a manual so you understand your unalienable rights, not your unalienable human rights. So when you hear people say human rights, walk away, because these people do not know things. When you hear people say we've tried everything, no, you haven't, because you haven't tried what we've done, because we have got a completely current case. We've done what a lot of other people haven't done. It's like Gary says, put people on notice. Putting people on notice is the first step. It's what you call due process. You notify them if their actions continue. Give us the evidence. We'll make sure they're convicted. And you will be named in that. Every single person, every single group. We were going to do this together. So at the end of it, it ain't going to be CMW. It's going to be a collective. And that's what we've been aiming at day one.
Exactly. It's about the sovereignty of every single man, woman and child. They're all sovereign in this country, and we've got to protect our sovereign children, and we've got to use our sovereignty, our constitution, our Bill of Rights, our Article 61, and our unalienable rights, not human rights. You wipe your arse on the Human Rights Act. It's your unalienable rights. I mean, I've talked to you on the phone earlier, Nathan. I used them again the other day for somebody and got them off using unalienable rights. So your unalienable rights are very powerful because they're not given to you by any government. The trouble when you use the Human Rights Act is you're using an act that the government have created, and it's their creation so they can do what they want with it. Like Nathan says, they're only there, they can take them into consideration. They can't take unalienable rights into consideration because they're there for perpetuity.
Well, this
it's got nothing to do with that.
Your human rights, the Human Rights Declaration is created by the United Nations. The same people that want to teach your children at 3 to 4 and up about sexual relationships and have sex with adults and have paedophiles known as minor attractive people, things like that. This is the United Nations. These are the very people we're talking about. So when you talk about human rights, they're rights that was designed that they can take away when they feel like it. Unalienable rights, which are your rights under a sovereign. And by the way, sovereign means above rule and above management, basically. So you are you. Unless
Yeah.
you give consent to someone to rule over you, which you do by voting, there is no higher than you. And this is what we've got to start to realise. This is why you hear the WF, the UN, European Union say you must give over sovereignty, because without us agreeing to give over our sovereignty, without us agreeing to give over our born right to just live and let be, they have no
Yeah.
power.
Yeah. They're more
Right.
powerful than you'll ever realise. More powerful. Trust me
Right.
on that
Right.
one.
Well, you
I've
know,
used them enough.
Right.
if
Why-
everyone gets under 61 as well, that's that like Article 61. Yeah, that's a big step forward.
Well, that is
Yeah.
that is different answer. That is removing power from Parliament and the Crown, and it's giving it back to us, so they can't keep giving
Yeah.
it. Once you go under Article 61, that means the WF, the Parliament, the Crown, that lot, they cannot give your sovereignty to anyone else because you've taken that back. You hold that within yourself. As long as you have them documents and you've done the right process, your sovereignty lies with you, not them. It's a way of taking it away from them. So you take away their power. And that's what a lot of people don't realise. When you vote and when you register, you actually register your sovereignty. So you're giving them the right to act on your behalf for 4 years after you've already signed. So it's like giving I don't know, it's like giving a burglar. You sign a declaration with a burglar. So I'm not going to rob you today, but in a week I may do. And you go, it's all right as long as you haven't robbed me today. So you sign a piece of paper, and then a week later he comes and robs you and says, but you agreed to it, so you can't say anything now because a week ago you said as long as I didn't rob you that day, it's not that day, it's a week later. That's what Parliament are doing.
Yeah.
Well, I have to let Lucy on because Lucy's been waiting for a very long time. Lucy 01, complete Labour, who's got more actually, I think, would say, and probably knows probably a bit more than most of us. This is a layman's terms who's seen what's going on and said it from outside. Right, Lucy, hello. You're gonna have to
Hello, are you all right, Nate?
Yeah, all right, Lucy.
Yeah. Well, I agree with what Gary and Dennis were saying. They've got to all stick together. People have got to start uniting because what I can see of people, them scared to, they think the same as us, but them scared to come out and say things.
True.
That's what I think. Them like, oh yeah, I agree, but when you say, well, why don't you go on the march or whatever? Oh no, I'm at work, I can't do this, I can't do that. They want to sit back and let somebody else do all the work instead. They've all got to get off the backsides. That's what's got to happen.
Exactly. You won't have a job soon, so you're going to wait till your job's been taken by a robot until you kick off? By then,
exactly. That's exactly. It's like with the jabs, Zany. I mean, people have had the jabs to keep the jobs, but to me, my life was more important than a jab, than a job, because if I ain't got a life, I ain't going to have a job anyway, am I?
Well, you are someone, if you don't mind me asking, you are someone that actually lost your job because you wouldn't agree to be jabbed. Is that true?
Yeah, that's correct, 100%. Yeah, and I'd been at my job at 24 years, and they said I'd got a choice. And I said, okay, what's my choice? I said, well, if you don't have the job, you ain't got a job. So, that was really wrong because I value my life, obviously.
That's
I love my job. Yeah, that's what happened to me. They just said, basically, we're not forcing you to have the job, but if you don't have the job, you can't work here no more. And to me, that was awful because, obviously, I'd watch things on the telly and heard what people have said about them, and I'm glad I listen now because obviously it's deadly, and with me having underlying health issues, I'd have been dead now.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think you've made the right choice?
Definitely. I'd do it all over again. Definitely. I think I'm so glad I did that because I've got colleagues what have had the jab and they've got palpitations. Some have had a stroke. I've got 2 friends what have had strokes. I've actually had 2 friends die who I worked with.
So
for the jab.
That's shocking. So you've actually seen this firsthand. So the decision you made, and you was asked for, and you was kind of, I don't know, how can you put it? You was put outside the box. You was the black sheep, but yet the ones.
Oh yeah, I had all the snidey remarks. This is what annoys me with people today. They don't look at the bigger picture. I had all the snidey remarks. Or you're going to infect me. I said, oh, infect you with what? There's nothing out there to infect you with. Or why should I work with you when you ain't been jabbed and I have? If I'm bad, it's through you. I said, no. If you're bad, it should be me what gets it, not you, because you're supposed to be protected, ain't you, with the jab?
Well, that's common
Yeah.
sense. But common sense, I don't think prevailed in most of it. But
Honestly, that's what they said
Oh,
to
well,
me.
Lucy, I'm
That-
so sorry for what happened to you, because that should never have happened. You lost your livelihood and everything because you made a moral stance, because you chose your health over a narrative. I'm so sorry for that.
Exactly. And what they did as well now, if there was like, oh, don't come near me, don't touch me, I'm not working with her because her ain't been jabbed. And I'm like, well, if anybody should be worried, really, if there was such a virus, it would have been me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Because I'm the unjabbed one. I'm not the one what's actually got a protection now, saying, oh, I'm totally protected because I'm jabbed. And I'll tell you what I do. I know two people, well, obviously not now because they've passed away. Two people what have passed away through having blood clots. I know two people what's had stroke. And I know somebody now who's all right, not right. And it's only because I'll admit it's through the jab.
Well, I think this is why I think, I don't know, Gary, I know you've been sort of badgered, so I mean, maybe we do need to do this more regularly. We I don't know, maybe we need to do more of an open panel on it, have people have a say rather than this sort of video. So, yes, people, we will. Links in the chat. Babs, come on again if you want. Lucy, I mean, what can I say? I mean, you've said so much already. I think, I don't know. I don't know how. You pretty much said in ways that I could not have said. I mean, myself and Gary, as you know, have been warning people for many years. I mean, we warned people this and a jab about 3-4 years before it was happening. But somebody that's actually gone through it, I mean, what do you say? I mean, are you likely to do this again? Do you really now, from what your personal opinion, has it changed? How can I say it? Has it changed your opinion of the surrounding people and the way society is?
Definitely. I think they're all, I know they say you've got to stop saying that word, the sheep, but I do think they follow the leader. It's like, well, 10 people have had the jab, so I'm having it because there's only 3 who ain't had it. And I want to be with the in crowd, I want to be with these because these are all jabbed and there's more of them. That's what they seem like. They ain't got a brain of their own. You know, you can tell them, and it's like, well, Jack Smith down the road's had it, so I'm doing it.
Yeah. See, this is the problem.
Rather than do it for themselves, do you know what I mean? And have their own mind and see what the pros and cons are first. I mean, you're letting somebody inject a foreign body into your body without even asking what's in it.
Exactly. I mean, I think everybody on this panel is old enough. It's like, I think we're old enough to. It's like we used to be able to question our doctors, and our doctors used to tell us. When did that stop?
Exactly, nice. But what it is, I found with the people I worked with, it was like it was pressure off the people higher up. You want to work here, you'll have the job. So a couple of people had it. And then it was a few more that got to have it. And then I was had in the office about 7 times. Are you having this job? Are you having this job? There's no pressure, but if you don't have the job, you ain't got a job. You know, and I thought, well, for somebody who isn't as strong, it's enough to make them, you know, have an heart attack with the stress, really.
So basically, what you're saying is, like I said, it's like you witness firsthand the pressure that people succumb to.
Definitely, 100%. It wasn't like, oh, well, we don't mind. It was like, you know, it's getting near the time now, and most of them are jabbed, and, you know, then you get people what are like, I've said, my colleagues, have I got to work with her? Oh, I don't know, because they ain't been jabbed. I mean, where is this live and let live gone? What's happened to all that?
Exactly, which is an unalienable right. You have the right to live your life and be happy as long as you're not harming another person. There was no proof at all, nothing has been proved that you're harming another person. And this is part of your unalienable rights, people.
Yeah.
Unless you are doing something that can commit harm or loss to another person, the powers that be, the police and everything, have no right to intervene in your life.
No, but I felt personally that they interfered in my life because they caused me, with your inalienable rights, to cause me loss and harm and injury, really, because I've had to struggle since I ain't had a job. Because I was quite happily ticking along till all this COVID rubbish come about. And then it was all mega, this lockdown and everything, I think personally was ridiculous. And I think people should have just given the middle finger and said, we're carrying on with our life. We ain't bothered. We'll take our chances. Instead, everybody just complied, which has now given them the rub in their hands now. Oh, well, they complied dead easy with that. Oh, we'll do the next thing now, because I was shocked, if I'm honest, of how easy it was to lock everybody down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was really shocked. Me personally, I've got to say, I don't take any notice. I carried on about my business. I never wore a mask. I never stopped going to my friends' houses. They never stopped coming to mine. I know we could have got reported, but I don't care because I didn't believe in it. And it was my choice to mix with people who also hadn't been jabbed. And none of us have ever had a thing wrong with us.
Nope. As most people know, myself and Gary even went to Scotland Yard at the beginning of lockdown, and I even went through a whole case. Even went to the High Court of Appeal. Whole lot. Some of us never actually bothered. I mean, like I said, some of us upheld our unalienable rights, not human rights, because by the way, they can take your human rights away. Like I said, if you read the preamble to the Human Rights Declaration, they're only to be taken into consideration. So the minute like a pandemic happens, you have no human rights. If they don't want to consider it, you don't. But unalienable rights, your fundamental right, because you are born and you are a sentient being, that they can't take away from you. And it's about time everyone actually started realising that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, what I found was ridiculous, me personally, with the COVID, was you'd got to go everywhere with a mask on, and you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. And then when they was getting home, they was telling you to open your windows and let some fresh air in. Well, if that being the case, if it was a virus in the air, you're letting it in the house then, ain't you, if you open the windows? Where was the logic?
Exactly, and there's no biohazard bins or anything to put your gloves or your mask or anything in. A whole lot.
No.
But it's like it's happening in Australia now. They're now turning around to Australian people, and I think New Zealand's happening as well. They're now turning around saying it's not our fault; it's your body. You should have been aware that it was an experiment. You chose to do what you did. It's not our fault. You did it to yourself.
Oh God, it's awful, and I do think it's bringing a lot of illnesses on, because I know people are suddenly becoming really poorly as well who have been jabbed. And they've said they wish they never had it, but it was pressure again for the jobs and the livelihoods, because obviously they've got mortgages and that. And if they was like told they ain't got a job, then they'd lose their house. So they had it when they really, if they they thought they had a proper choice, they would have said no. So I think basically the lot of the figures where them jabbed, there wouldn't have been so many people having the jabs, because a lot of people had it under duress, really.
Well, this is the thing. A lot of people don't realise that they've done what the powers that be, the so-called authority, and I'll tell you now, you're your own authority, because what you decide is what happens. But a lot of people gave over their authority to others, and they don't realise that authority only lasts for a certain amount of time. And I say this like a mantra. When the WF and the UN and everyone else, when you hear like the pandemic treaty and the amendments to the International Health Amendments 2005, which myself and Gary on Lawful Rebel, if you look through these videos, you'll see part 1 and 2, and we will be doing the rest. They're taking your rights from you anyway. So everything you did that you thought, well, I'm not going to be selfish, I'm going to do this. Well, you just give them you just give them basically your consent to take everything away. So next time there's a pandemic, you have no rights. Well done.
Exactly.
Everyone who's done it, give yourself a round of applause.
But I don't get why people do it. I really don't, because if I feel strongly enough about something, nobody will make me do it. They will not. And they just went along with it and said, well, I don't really want to be jabbed, but I'm going to have to be. But it's your body, you know what I mean? It ain't like they're taking a package of crisps off you. It's a serious thing to inject you with some sort of fluid. It could have been arsenic for all I know.
Exactly. See, well, this is the thing. You're a testament, and you are a shining light, actually, Lucy, because you was never an activist. You're not an activist now, are you? You only really sort of started sort of getting into actually realising since you've actually was given that choice, and you've seen that the choice you made, even though in the short term you felt like it damaged you, in the long term it didn't, did it?
It's opened my eyes a lot since the COVID. I didn't really take much notice before with things, with your inalienable rights and stuff, but now I'm on it now, because I think as time progresses, this is going to get worse, because I feel that the government are squeezing more and more and more all the time about, you know, everything what's coming on the news. You think, oh my, that's another right they've taken off you. You know, or you're gonna have to do this, or you're gonna have to do that, and the more people ain't rising up, the more they're gonna trample on you.
Exactly. I mean, you said yourself you've never really got into unalienable rights so recently. I mean, have you used your unalienable rights? Have you personally got a testimony to how powerful your unalienable rights are?
To a degree, yeah. I mean, obviously it's ongoing, so it's not finished yet. But to a degree, yeah, I have. I've started using them quite a lot. Well, I used them at work actually, and they don't know what to say when I said to them, "Well, I have got rights, and my inalienable rights is you're not causing me any loss, harm, or injury." I said, "You're causing me harm because you're going to cause me stress. You're definitely going to injure me because I've got underlying health issues. So then I'm going to, you know," and they laughed at me. My manager laughed and said, "Don't be ridiculous." But it's proved it, because my friend had it and has now been dead the last 18 months.
But I bet your boss is not laughing now, is he?
No, but honestly, they laughed at me and they just said to me, "Don't be ridiculous. You don't, where have you been listening to? It's a government thing. They're not going to kill you." But they are.
Well, that's not here there. But like I said, your unalienable rights are very powerful. You don't, your boss, there's nobody who can take them away from you. So it doesn't matter if you work for them. All that happens is they land up with a big lawsuit, which I'm hoping you're going to go for.
Yeah, well, basically, they just says to me, they laughed in my face and said, "It's all rubbish, you know. It's for the better. It's to keep you safe." And I said, "There ain't no such virus." And they looked at me like I was loony, to be fair, as if I was a nutter. And they just said, "Well, at the end of the day, it's the same as the lateral flow test." I said, "I'll do my own," because the first time I went, they shoved it that far up my nose. I says, "I don't really want these tests and I ain't going to have them." I said, "Because I don't know what damage you're doing to me. What's on them swabs? Nothing."
They broke your blood-brain barrier. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all taught from a very young age. I mean, I don't know how old people are in the chat listening, but I was taught from a very young age, don't stick things up your nose.
Exactly, nice. I did it once, and after that, I said, "That's my choice. I don't want a lateral flow test," because you don't go testing yourself every day to see if you've got the flu, do you? Or testing yourself to see if you've got an headache or a footache. If it's your body tells you if you're not well. And I said, if I'm not well, I'll know then to stay off work. But if I feel fine, why have I got to have a test to say I'm fine? It's ridiculous.
Exactly. The links for the show, if you want to come on and have your say, links in the chat. Thank you, Lucy.
Okay.
Thank you for telling us your tale. I mean, hopefully that will resonate with a lot of people. I'm sure it will resonate with a lot of people, because I think a lot of people will find themselves in your position or have been in your position. So thank you for being so brave and coming forward and saying that, because it's with people like you. If we can all step forward, we can all stop this.
Well, hopefully, because it is getting worse, I think. I've noticed a big change in the last 12 months, even round where by I live, and that is big, massive changes. People seem to be going into the shells rather than coming out. Instead of speaking of free speech now, they're frightened to say anything.
Which is an unalienable right. Free speech is an unalienable right. You're allowed to speak your mind. You're allowed to offend people.
Yeah,
And
but they don't now.
Offended, everyone has a choice. You have a choice to speak your mind, and if you don't like what someone says, you have the choice to remove yourself from the vicinity of the person saying so. You don't have the right to silence someone because you don't like it.
But that's how it's getting now. That's just how it's getting. It's getting, you know, you can't say what you think, or you can't say that to that person because of this reason. And I've been brought up, like you've just said, to speak my mind. If I've got a problem, I'd rather tell somebody than talk about them behind the back. I'd rather come out and say to that person. But now you're shot down for that. You're a bad person for speaking your mind. So people are getting like little timid mice up the corner. I don't know what's the matter with the English people. I really don't.
Is that not what we teach our children? To be, we not teach our children to be comfortable to speak their mind.
But it seems as though it's changed now. I mean, if you're looking all around the world, everybody's up in arms about things what are going on, and what's England done?
Oh, really?
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly. Does anybody else, links in the chat, does anyone else want to jump in? I don't just want to sort of put Lucy on the spot.
Yeah. Well, I found out though it's more women like Lucy that's speaking out than the men. The men don't seem to be half as outspoken as the women. And I've got to admire the women of this country that, you know, they seem to be sticking up to the chip for the children a lot more than the men are. It's like the men are more interested in watching match, you know, watching the Sky football on Sky or going to the match itself, rather than, and they're not realising what's going on behind the back, or they're just, I don't understand it, but hopefully there's
You've been doing this. You've been doing this just as long as I have. I mean, back in the day, I mean, before Brexit, it was mainly men out protesting about all this stuff. Knew this stuff was coming out. We was quite curtailed. I mean, a lot of it was women going against us, telling us to stop our toxic masculinity. We should stop with brutes, with thugs, and all stuff like that. I think that has a lot to do with it. So, but then again, it's now time that men do come back into the fold. I think. It's
but having said that, there's a protest on the 15th of July for the veterans and the football lads have put on in Birmingham. So hopefully that'll be the turning point, and the men will start to get back involved the way they should be. With a bit of luck.
Exactly, you've got the 15th July, and that is football lads and the vets are standing up. Then you've got Long March to Freedom, which is happening in the middle of August, which is not a one-day march. It is a march. The march is solely about solutions, not about the problems. So you won't have people just talking to you. We've gone past that point, okay? Turning up, spending loads of money to hear someone speak about problems is gone. Time for the solutions is now. So each and every single one of us, and it's going to take each and every single one of us. If you are not involved, then you are the problem. You're actually consenting to it, because silence is consent. As they say, no action is action. So if you're silent, if you do not take part in these things, you're actually helping the people doing these things. So the government, WF and that lot, you're actually helping them do this to us. Especially
why are they scared, Nate? Why are they scared to speak their mind? What is it they're hiding from?
Because they think they're going to lose their job or lose their home, but they're going to anyway.
Yeah, a lot of it's stigma as well.
Yeah, they don't realise that. They don't realise that. We got a big problem down here in Essex. Most people they're worried about their businesses and their homes and their jobs. Yeah, but they don't seem to realise they're not going to have that in 5 years.
Them anyway,
yeah, but they don't believe that, do they? When you tell them, I mean, I've had them laughing my face, and they've said, "What planet are you come from?" I
Yeah.
said, well, then you heard about 2030. Oh, that's all rubbish. It's all scaremongering. That's all. Oh, I'm going on my holidays next week. I'm going to Mallorca for 2 weeks. That's all they're bothered about.
The
Yeah,
thing
but
is,
Lucy,
Yeah.
what you got to remember, Lucy, yeah, is like a lot of these people, yeah, they've only been involved in the movement since the beginning of COVID. Yeah, they're not like Gary and Nathan and Rick and myself that have been involved since like the early days. You know what I mean? I'm talking before Brexit and everything.
oh,
Yeah, and they're all at different levels of waking up.
put
Yeah,
it this way, when me and Gary used to go on marches in the beginning, and this is before Brexit, police used to turn up in riot shields and we'd be beaten back. That's a lot of it why men have walked away from it, because we stood without kicking off. We stood for like year upon year upon year of getting literally beaten, and no one helped. No one helped us. No one backed us. And then all of a sudden COVID hit and everyone was like, well, why aren't you joining in? It's like, because we've taken a kicking year after year after year. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
but to be honest, though, I've only been awake since the COVID. I was in a coma. I don't know about asleep, but I was in a coma. I didn't believe anything. But now, I'll try to wake as many people up as I can, and they just look at me like as if to say, you know, have you been on the pop? Because there's something wrong with you. It won't happen. That won't never happen. And things I've told them have happened, and they've said, well, I don't think that'd happen. And I says, well, why don't you heed the warning and do something before it's too late?
Exactly. Can I
Well,
just
you
bring
know,
attention to June Gower
there's
in
only
the
one group down here that's worth anything, and that's the Colchester group.
2 seconds, Dennis? Can I just bring like some attention to what June Gower just said in the comments? Learn the Constitution. Actually, learn your Constitution, because it's what binds Parliament and the Crown. They're not allowed. It's the rules they have to go by. They're not allowed to breach it, and it's our duty to uphold it.
Yeah, but they're pushing all over our rights, mate.
Well, this is it. This is because we're not upholding the Constitution. If we uphold the Constitution, they are bound by it. So they're the same as us. Like, they can't just go, oh, well, it doesn't exist, because the written Constitution does exist. It's written over 21 documents. So it's not that we don't have a written Constitution. It's just ours was the first that was built over 800 years. Learn the Constitution. It's the only thing. And our Constitution states the WF, the UN, the European Union can have no say in our lives. We decide the laws we live by. We decide what happens. And the Constitution, whether they're the same as with America, it doesn't matter if there's a pandemic or not. The Constitution can never be set aside because there's a difficulty.
I just wished everybody would wake up harder, because it's so frustrating. It really is.
But do you find now that now you've woke up, you can never go back to sleep? Because that's what I'm finding with everybody.
No, you can't. I mean, I've heard today, I don't know whether it's true, but they've started putting the insects now in the dog food. So they're experimenting with the dogs to see how it affects them first. It's got food with insects in,
It's in our food too. They just put it, same as with the E numbers, they put it under certain thing. Most vegans are going to find out in the next year that they've been eating meat and not realise.
There's just no let up with it, and they do actually tell you what they're going to do as well. And if they listen to the double speak, you can tell what's going on, and then you tell people, and they just look at you like you're a nutter, as if to say, oh, but it'll be them what'll be crying at the end when they ain't stood up. They'll be wanting your help when it's too late. They've got to do it now.
Exactly. Don't wait. I mean, there's often a phrase. It's like, when trouble comes to my door. But when trouble comes to my door, it's already basically that trouble would have already cleared out your neighbours. So there's only one of you left. So if you want to fight the system, we get together.
The classic round here, the classic round where I live is, it don't concern me. It's nothing to do with me. You know, even a friend of mine told her husband what was going on about the jab. And he went, well, what you bothered about? It don't concern you. And I said, well, to be fair, it's people like you why the country's in a state, because it does concern me. She's my friend. And he went, well, it don't concern you or me. It don't affect our lives, so I'll let her get on with it. And that was the answer.
Exactly. It's the thing. Right. Not going to go on too much longer. Lucy, thank you for coming. Thank you for telling your story. I can't thank you enough. Hopefully, people will realise that, like you say, you're not a protester. You're not thinking. You're just a layman that's actually just seeing it for what it is.
Yeah.
Rick, you've been quiet. Anything you want to say?
No, I'm just listening, to be honest. I mean, I think I said when the lockdown started and whatever, it would be an opportunity for people to stop and think and examine things around them and think for themselves, you know. But I don't know. I mean, for me, a lot of people have woke up, you know, like the lady's saying now. Before then, you're just getting on with life. You've got things to do. You know, lockdown, it just kind of give everyone a little bubble of time to just stop and examine things, think for themselves. You know.
I'm not going to go into too much longer, so we're going to kind of wrap it up now.
Nave,
Yes.
can I say just a couple of things? Yeah, this Saturday in Clapton, Rolling Thunder are going to be there with young Alex.
Yep. Please
Yeah,
be.
that's this Saturday, 12 o'clock at the War Memorial. Yeah, also there's a petition, not a petition, a GoFundMe going around for a veteran who passed away. Yeah, his name was Paul Reynolds. Yeah, and if everybody could donate to that, yeah, even no matter how much, you know what I mean, 50p a pound, whatever, to help pay for this veteran's funeral.
He's a top man, Paul was.
Yep. I mean, don't get me wrong. We don't do GoFundMe things like that, but it's like I said.
Yeah, I know, because they take a thing of it. But you know, this veteran needs to be buried, mate, and he's left behind an 18-year-old daughter.
What is it?
Yeah, and he passed away. He passed away on Father's Day.
Well, this is what I was about to say. It's like we don't do GoFundMe things like that. We don't promote it as far as CMW and myself and Gary's concerned. But
yeah,
about subjects like this, this was a veteran who destroyed his soul in the army, and
that's right, mate. On government lies.
For you,
give the group name out and that.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are religious and go, Jesus gave himself for our sins. Well, I'll tell you what, there's millions of veterans that also did the same thing. So how about you give them respect?
No, all we want to do is make sure that the guy gets a decent burial. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, and there is a GoFundMe going around on Facebook. It's also on Telegram channels. Yeah, we've been promoting it on Telegram channels. Yeah, because I'm no longer on Facebook. But yeah, if people could donate, yeah, no matter how small, you know what I mean, to help this veteran. He was a good man. I've met him personally. Yeah, I met him on several occasions.
I've met him personally. He was an amazing man. He actually was amazing.
Yeah, you know, if everyone could donate, no matter how small, yeah, to help this veteran get a decent burial, because it's all been left to his 18-year-old daughter. Yeah, and basically she hasn't got a pot to piss in. Her dad never had a pot to piss in. Yeah, because of the way that the government had left him. Yeah,
well, the link.
I'll tell you
what. I'd just like to say his name was Paul Reynolds. He was known as Scaly. Yeah, because he was in the Royal Signal Corps. Yeah, he'd done his time in the army. And
Dennis, you know what? I don't usually do this. You know I don't, but you pass me. I've had the link somewhere, but pass me the link again, and I'll stick it under this video. So anyone who wants to help his young daughter, his 18-year-old daughter, bury her father. Then
and in the meantime, the link is on my wall and it's on your wall, Nathan. I think we both shared the link.
I know I've shared it. It's just been able to grab it, but I might stick it under this video as well. To sort of thing.
Yeah, if you could, you know, like at the moment, the fund stands at just under £2,000. Yeah, we're trying to raise £3,000. Yeah, my group has raised quite a bit of money, which we're going to give direct to his daughter. Yeah, because we don't want GoFundMe to take their slice.
Well, yeah, because what happens with GoFundMe is they check it out. They have so much of the watch it, then when you're going to draw it out again, they have another percentage, and you only end up with about 40% of what you raised.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, so if everybody could donate, no matter how much, even if it's 50p, you know, like, yeah, what's 50p? It don't even buy you a newspaper, does it? 50 pence.
Yeah, no.
You know,
I mean, I might not do. I might not do GoFundMes, but I've researched what they're about, and you know.
Yeah. That's why we're not going through GoFundMe. We've arranged to get it to his daughter direct. Yeah, the money that
it's
we've
shocking.
raised. Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting the way the government are treating these veterans. Yeah, and it's, you know, the thing's being organised by the PTSD camp up in Bath. Yeah, and like that's who the GoFundMe's being organised by, somebody at the PTSD camp. Yeah, he was a very good man, and he deserves a decent burial.
Maybe it'd be nice if one of them involved would come on and we could speak to them and that sort of people have more of a humanistic sort of view of it. All right,
Yeah.
I have been messaged all tonight. Gary, apparently we have to do this more often.
Yeah, I don't mind doing an open panel because it's one of them. At the end of the day, if you've got nothing to hide, you do an open panel, won't you? And you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm Nick. I think it's all night. So, we've got little veteran. Do you want to pop on? Actually, we'll do another 10 minutes if you pop on after that, and I'll drop out because this thing's out. So I wouldn't mind sort of. I don't know. Right. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you for coming on saying what you said. You're so brave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Babs.
Thank you, Lucy. Well done.
We'll go through it all along with people want to pop on, but it's like Gary. I'm literally getting message after message. Apparently we've got to do this more often. So
yeah.
The only issue is obviously certain topics seem to be getting strikes on channels and whatnot.
Well, this is the thing. This is the reason why we're moving up to the radio station.
Yeah, that's it. That's where we need to be now, really.
And it's Nigel. Hopefully, hello, my son.
Hello, mate. I'm just setting up my camera stand because I weren't expecting this.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what we're like. We'll stick you on it. It's one of them.
How's everyone doing?
Not bad, mate. Not bad, mate. I'm happy.
How you doing, Nob?
I'm good, mate. Thanks. Yeah, brilliant.
I mean, you're going to bring another aspect tonight, sort of thing, and the whole of tonight is basically the people having their say. Basically, I mean, a lot of people may not know that you've been down in Dover filming and documenting what's happening with people coming in and that lot. Let's have you say, mate, what you've been saying.
Hang on, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Get in there. Get in there. Plan and preparation prevents a piss poor performance.
Yeah, so you should know better than that, Marcel.
Shit. Right, hi guys, how you doing? Right, I'm here now.
Oh,
can you hear me?
Tell us what you've been doing.
Right, yeah, past 2 weeks, guys, been down at Dover. Went down there, I think it was a day after Rishi Sunak decided to do his grand speech down at Dover, blagging everyone that they've stopped the boats and that's why we haven't got no boats coming over, where we all knew that it was the weather. And then since then, it's like 2,500, if not 3,000 at the moment, come over. It's been horrendous. It's been absolutely horrendous. And they've been flooding in today. As I said, I've come home at the moment. It does take it out of you. I'm back. I was back in my car, but I'm looking at get camping facilities down there. But active still down there at the moment, filming. So we're still getting it out. Chris Johnson's still down there. But these are look, guys. As I said, I've done a live stream last night, and I just want to pick up on a certain thing to explain to people.
Yep,
when we first started off this 3 years ago, right, we came out as a group of guys to have a laugh, have a giggle, right, and just to see what was going on. Now, after doing this for 3 years, which now our 4th year we're in, this is getting bloody serious, people, yeah? Now, and I mean serious, right? We've got a very, very dangerous situation building in this country, and people need to start waking up properly, yeah? I know people are saying, oh yeah, people are waking up, but they're saying the wrong things. So people need to wake up. Yeah, people need to start standing. And these demos and that, what people want to do, like the ones down at London, which is happening in September, right? We need a mass demo, and I mean with thousands of people to go down to Dover and to hold Dover, right? Get this mentality out your head for a demonstration in Britain, right? Where you go down a meet at 12, you finish at 2, and you go down a pub. Yeah, that ain't having a demo. Yeah, that's having a get together with your mates, right? A demo, you need to get down there, and we need to hold Dover, and I mean hold it. Yeah, and I'm telling you, for at least 3, 4, 5, 6 days, yeah. But we need the rotation of people so we can keep people sticking there, because this is dangerous, and I mean it, yeah. And people need to start realising that this ain't going to stop.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what the government say. This ain't going to stop.
This is another reason why. Well, you said you support us, and we're going to have you on about the Long March for Freedom too, Nigel, mate. Like you know yourself, I spoke to you. You know this ain't a one-day thing. This is about solutions. There's no more.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So it's not like these other marches, like what we've mentioned tonight, and like all these other ones. This isn't a march. If you think you're just going to turn up and go home, this is like this is about we bring about solutions now. We implement the solutions. This is time to stop what is happening.
Mate, this is ridiculous what's happening. Absolutely ridiculous. And look, if people are still getting brainwashed by this government on what they're saying, when the government hasn't done nothing. Look, for 3 years, mate, they've blagged and lied. And they're still blagging and lying. There's people still lapping it up. And I said this on my live stream last night, right? This is out to the lefties as well, right? This is mainly to the lefties. Listen to this, right? If you're Kefa Kelly, yeah, you've been helping them, you've been bringing them across. Once Sharia law gets into this country, right, and they're taking over, which is big. Look, they're nearly there.
Sharia actually means law, so it's just Sharia. Sharia actually means law, so it's just Sharia.
Yeah, cheers for the knowledge. I don't know, but yeah, I say Sharia law, but I think everyone says that. But Sharia, yeah. Once that's in, right, and they start bringing in ethnic cleansing, because it will happen, right? They will come right and knocking on your doors. You've got these idiots running around places with machetes already, right? They're attacking the whites, yeah. Now they're not going to distinguish if you've helped them in Calais cutting their hair before they get on a dinghy and come over, right? Yeah. So if you're these lefties, right, so deluded, you need to start waking up, guys, and start sort of coming up to our side. Because they're not going to say, "Oh, sorry, did you help us come over? Did you cut my hair in Calais?" No, oh, you didn't. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there's your head off. Yeah, because they're not going to do that. They're going to come round, see you white, see you ain't moved, leave, bye bye. You're not on the fucking agenda. You're gone. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. People think I'm deluded. Yeah, I ain't deluded. I've seen ethnic cleansing. Yeah, and it will happen. Yeah, and it's coming on our doorstep. Yeah, as I said last night, this is my thoughts. Yeah, this is not inciting violence or anything. This is my thoughts. Yeah, which I'm trying to get over to people through experiences I've lived through in my life.
No, but I've done the research on the Russian Revolution and everything, and I said this about 3 or 4. Well, I've been saying it for the last couple of months on my walk and talks. We're going to have another Russian Revolution here. Only this time, it ain't going to be. They're going to use the migrants to do it, but it's going to be exactly the same thing that's going to happen, and people need to woke up, because it's not going away. Like you've just said, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse, and that day will come if people don't wake up. 1,000%.
Exactly. I mean, my I like to investigate. I could be wrong. Not Nigel, your thing. Did you or did you not spend a tour in Bosnia? So you would have had first-hand sight.
Oh, mate, I've done a tour in Bosnia. I was in Yica in Bosnia. Beautiful.
Well, there you go then. So you've seen first-hand what war.
Mate, I used to drive a major around in Bosnia, right? And a weird thing with hierarchy when they're out in places like that, they like to be in amongst where the shit is happening, right? So I was driving this major around to mass graves, yeah, where they've blown up bridges on top of people, or mass graves which have buried people. It's not a nice thing, guys. And the first thing we realised when we hit Bosnia was through the ethnic cleansing. The first thing I noticed was all the dead pigs. Yeah, they slaughtered all the pigs.
Yep.
Yeah, and they were everywhere. And we were burying pigs for fucking weeks because of the diseases. But that was the first part of ethnic cleansing. And yeah, it is. Oh, God, mate, don't. If it ever came here, mate, we're fucked.
I know, careful, because we can't go into too much detail. No, because I did a bit of research. I know about Bosnia. So there's a lot I could say, but you lived it. I didn't. It's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
it's
like I said,
We are in very dangerous times now, and people need to wake up and take this a lot more serious than they are, because it's not a joke. People think, it's a joke, it's going to go away. Oh, just ride the waves. It'll disappear. It's not gonna. It's going to get worse. The only time it's going to stop, I've said this as well many times. Tyranny and oppression never goes away on its own. It only ever goes away when the people rise up and remove it.
well, I can actually prove throughout the history of what you call voting democracy, no country has ever voted themselves out of tyranny. In fact, actually, all you've ever done is vote yourself into tyranny, war, famine, then plague. And we're seeing that now with Ukraine and stuff like that. But we're going to have to wrap up, because we've been going for nearly 2.5 hours now. So, Nigel, I want you on the beginning of the next one, if you will, because I am now literally, and it's still going, my phone's going. Apparently, it's like, when's the next one? When's the next one? When's the next one? I don't know. Probably in the next couple of days if I can. Probably next week. Yeah, we'll do more. We'll do more. But I think it's about time. We're going to move over to the radio station soon. Like I said, but the links will be put out. We'll do lives and that lot, so you'll know where to go. But it's going to be one link for every single show. So once you've got that one link, if something is playing, all you have to do is just tune in. It's you'll be able to hear people like Nigel, me, Gary, Rick, Babs, anyone who spoke tonight. You'll be able to hear us, and we will not be. There'll be no censorship. So you'll hear us as we are, who we are, and what we're saying.
We're not here to cause, and we're not here to cause division, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to mend the division and hopefully try and unite everybody on the right page. That's what we're here to do, not cause more division.
Exactly. There's probably going to be people on our platform that are left, right, and in between. You may not like them. Tune in. It's your choice, but it's freedom of speech.
Mate, we've got all of us have got the same ending. We all want the same ending, so we all got to put our differences aside. If you want to fight in that, let's do the fighting after we fucking won this battle.
Exactly. Unite on what we all agree in before we look for differences. Okay, instead of looking for differences and why we don't like people and why we shouldn't align, let's start saying, well, what is that person? What does that person agree with that I agree with? Start using that mentality. Let's start uniting. The time for uniting. The vets are standing up. The football lads are standing up. We've been standing up for absolute donkeys. You know what I mean? It's happening. Long March to Freedom 2 is happening in August. It's time to stand. It's time to take action.
Yeah.
Right, is that it? Anyone got anything to say before I cut this off?
No, cheers for having us, guys. Yeah, I know it was a short one, but yeah, cheers.
We'll let you know when the next one is, Nobby.
Yeah, stick us in, boys. You know where to get hold of me.
Definitely.
Nobby.
Yes.
You knew Scaly as well as what we did. Perhaps you could give a plug for his GoFundMe as well.
Guys, look, he's a veteran. Yeah, genuine, brilliant guy. Yeah, absolutely bang on. Good giggle. Look, it's a bit of a sad situation for his family, his daughter mainly, who he was her backbone.
Yeah.
Right, and now she's lost that. Right, and we're trying to do everything to help that young girl, because she doesn't have a lot, and she used to rely on her dad. So please, if you can help out, a $5 or a $10, anything, just to get this up so we can give this great guy, ex-serviceman who served your country, the best send-off we can.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd say a better word
Well
than
said.
that. Well said. Well said.
Yeah, well said, Nobby.
Well, on that,
I'm gutted, mate, about it, mate. I'm gutted, to be quite honest. That's why I came back from the cliffs, to be quite honest. 'Cause I couldn't get my head around it.
I am, mate. To be
Yeah.
honest, I was meant to meet him at one point in Kent where he went, and I was meant to go up to the camp and like do some bushcraft and that with him because I've been doing it for many years, as you know. But I never got to. It's something I'll always regret. As I said, I lost my grandfather not long ago, in the last week or two.
Yeah, I heard
So
about
it's
that.
not great, but it's one of them. And like I said, and it's like, I don't know, it's something that's close to my heart. So it's one of them. So please, let's not let these people like have their sacrifice in vain. Let's not forget these people because there's some virtue signalling to be done. Let's pay the debt that we all owe to these people. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
Guys, remember the Battle of Britain, right, and the First World War, right? If you homeschool your kids, get it into the Reds about it because they'll make them patriotic, right? Let's not forget about these wars, and let's not forget about the Battle of Britain we've got today down in Dover. That needs to be. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, it's like I said, my grandfather was stationed on the Neptune. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, I know someone's mate whose dad was a rear gunner in a Lancaster bomber. He was shot down and survived. Yeah, so close to my heart because I know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I've got family in the army, the RAF, the Navy, all that lot. I mean, it means a lot to me. I mean, it may be a personal thing for me, but it means a lot for me. I'm hoping it's going to start meaning a lot to the people that are listening because I'm not being funny. These people come before us. The very reason why we get to call each other arseholes is for these people. So have a bit of respect.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to end that there. What we'll do is we'll do one in the next couple of days because I'm literally being badgered. Literally, Gary, I ain't joking. It's like we have to do this. So I think this may be a bit more regular. I don't know. But thank you all for coming on. Thank you all in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Hope we didn't bore you too much. And everyone who's come on tonight and everyone who tried to come on, we'll get you on next time. Thank you, Babs. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everyone. I'm hoping everyone felt they got impartially treated. There was no bias. We'll continue to do so. All right. Night, everyone.
No, boys.
All right, good night,
Night.
night, Gary. Night, Nobby.
Yeah, see you later,
Yeah,
guys.
night then. Good night, guys.
Take care.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. See you on the next one.
All right, bye.